Hello? Hello, everyone. Happy New Year! If I haven't seen you yet this year, you're looking well. It's January 10th. We're 10 days in to 2026. Hello, chat. How you doing? How you been? Where you been? Where you been? All right. Are we excited? Today is the day that all the nerds get to celebrate. Yes, this is actually the International Day of Nerds, of statistics, of... Why is the song playing? What? Hold on. I didn't even plan this. It just... Okay. We don't mind a throwback. Wait, where's the chorus? I said data and the soundtrack was like... Just picture the charts dancing. Okay, all right, okay. Everyone calm down. We're in. We're already up to here. We're already chaos. We haven't even looked at one chart. We don't even know what you think is ugly. Okay, I change it. I don't know what happened there. Okay, there we go. Oh. All right. Welcome on in, everyone. Welcome to the mods, the cats, the dogs, to all the data nerds, because you know what day it is. It's the annual Holo Taco Sales Data Report 2025. We are doing a year-end review for 2025. That's right, sit down, get your notebook. Okay, we're gonna talk performance metrics, indicators, KPIs. No, well, sort of. So if you like data and if you like nail polish, I've got like a few hours of joy for you. So buckle in, get your tea, get your water, stay hydrated, grab a snack, because I'm gonna release the deck. That's right, chat. We're releasing the deck. Well, not actually. I need to walk you through every single data point. So you don't get it. I get to show you the data deck, and then tell you all the context, variables, and every possible methodological limitation, so we can all argue about the results. We can't wait. All right, let me just open up some other notes. Okay, quick business note. Our wonderful moderators on this stream are not customer service, nor do they have access to the pivot tables that I use to put together the data. So please don't bother them with that. Just be well in the chat. I know you always are, but just shouting out also if there's any actual Holo Taco customer service questions, please redirect it to support@holotaco.com. No Windows. I don't want to back you up. I actually hate Windows. We will be announcing which shades are moving into retirement for Holo Taco at the top of the year. I know every year we do a little clean out, so we're going to be doing it again. That's going to happen a couple hours into stream. So a little bit later in the stream is when that'll happen. Not right now. Okay? Do not ask, because we're going to get there. I have to tell you 87 data points before we get there. All right, so we will be announcing retirements later on in stream. So if you were shopping today for those, also note that Cool Ranch and Seek Kelp were just restocked. So the declassified 003 bundle is back in stock. Don't get it until you shop retirement, so you can, make your order. What do you mean, what's retirement? Literally, do not ask me until I tell you. Chat, sit down. Simply Heather Smith, take a seat. You're not listening. Okay. All right, who did their homework? Let's do a poll. Do you even know what your homework was? Do you guys know how to read? Do you look at the curriculum? Do you look at the details in the video description box? This is actually a test. All right, so I've been doing this annual data stream for Holo Taco for 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Is that 5 years? Maybe it's 4. I don't know. However you count it. But this is our annual data stream where I give you market research about my brand for free. Something people don't do for a reason, because you never know, like Sally's out there are listening and taking our data and maybe using it to their advantage. I don't know, just simply speculation. It's possible. So that's why you probably don't see this often. But I value the community, the data, the fun we have over that possibility and whatever it may help other brands with. So, yeah, we're just doing it for free. Link below. Okay, that was like a deep cut, if you remember where that's from. I also just love to analyze data, and I love nail polish. So this is like the intersection of my life that brings me great joy. So I'm going to share it with you. So this is gonna be a long stream. Okay, that was my last note. This is a long stream. Let's get the deck going. Let's open her up. Oh no, let's close the poll. Who did their homework? Okay, so by homework, did you look at last year's bestsellers? What you guys voted the ugliest, the worst sellers? Because you gotta have your reference category to, be able to analyze this year and be like, has it changed? Trends over time? What's happening here? What context could we apply to these results? 64%, 64, 65 did your homework. 36% did not. Well, I know what you did or didn't do in school. This is class. This is a really fun class, actually. Everyone gets a credit, only if you do your homework, though. I will walk you through some references. Also, I see a ton of super chats and Menchie Gang member chats coming in. Thank you. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them because we got to stay laser focused on results of 2025 Holo Taco Polish Sales Report, Best and Worst. Okay, this one's for you, prepared specially. Hello, is my voice dying already? Oh my god. Just for you, chat. All right, let's open her up. Give me 1 second. Let me just queue up anything I may need. Oh, why do I have this color on? Oh, that's fine. We can be pastel. It's fine. Can we, you want to turn down the music? Yeah, okay. I will turn it up when we have like a drum roll or something. Okay, so is that better for music? NDAs are optional, I guess. Just like, don't sell my data to Sally's out there, okay? Yeah, I'm watching you, chat. Grab your tea. It's fucking tea time. It's nail polish and tea chat time. This is my favorite day of the year. They will get it themselves. Really? You think like a rep of Sally's and companies are here? That's crazy. How you guys doing? How's your Saturday? All right. Let's get it started. Agenda and research questions are always required to outline a proper presentation. So, the research questions I had in undertaking this analysis was, first, what were the most popular Holo Taco polishes in the year 2025? What were the least popular polishes in 2025? And also, what were at the top in 2025 versus top in 2024? Like, how does it compare to previous years? We're also going to talk about retiring shades, and I'll give you a little bit of context why. Spoiler alert, context widely varies. There is no singular reason that applies to all shades as to why they may retire. Plus, bonus for the second, or is it third year in a row, in addition to sales data, which is very robust, very true, very factual, right? Our customer sales data is what I'm using for the majority of like the first half of this presentation to determine best sellers, worst sellers. But that's not the same thing as like how people vibe with a polish. Like, do they like it? Like, that doesn't necessarily correlate. So we started this opinion poll survey a couple years ago as just like a little side job, a side quest, if you will. So I could be like, are they the same? And spoiler, they're often not the same. They look really different. And that's one of the most interesting points to me is like, what are people actually using? What do they think was the best thing we released this year, for example, or last year? What do they think is the ugliest? So this is like the opinion survey, which is now closed. But thank you to those who contributed their opinions. I love collecting them and then quantifying them and turning them into charts. Holos to holos, there are so many different ways that we could analyze this data. So I literally do not want to hear it. Because I have spent several years trying one method, then trying another. And it's just like, there is no perfect way. I'll just say that. There is no perfect way. But the best thing you could do as a researcher when like there's too much context and like, well, it's not a rolling year and XYZ because it was sold out during this period. Like, there is no perfect way to really determine what was the best selling thing because there's so many ways to look at that, right? But I have just decided to standardize the way that I've chosen to look at it so that at least year to year, they're the same. And at the same time, I will look at other methods in the background, use other methods to look at other ways of how we could read the same data and then add some context notes that I'll just give to you. But you're not getting data every which way, okay? That's too much. So you're gonna get it one way. You're gonna get it individual sales of nail polish bottles where a customer goes and like says, oh, I would like to buy linear Holo Taco. I have picked it from the store, added it to my cart, checked out, okay? That's individual sales, individual bottles. Someone's like, I want this polish. So example, Shooting Stars Tacos. Why did I say that? Pick that one. That's like the hardest one to give an apostrophe S to. Shooting Star Tacos, the number of Shooting Star Tacos sold as an individual shade. What do you get? when you analyze it that way. It reflects what people are picking up individually. It ignores performance in bundles and boxes, and it gets at what people are actually after because they sought it out individually as if they were like in a store plucking something off the shelf. That's the main unit of analysis that I've been using and I will use. There's also other ways to do it, including bundles and boxes or super cartons or collection numbers, right? So, for example, the number of shooting star tacos sold individually and in the camping collection bundle, or later, the happy camper bundle. These things get complicated because sometimes bundles are sold out and it's no longer about an individual like isolating this shade and being like, I want that one, okay? It also can drive up limited edition items when we're talking about super cartons or collection boxes. There's also other ways to do it. You could do rate of polishes sold per day, which is very complicated when something was only in stock because it was limited edition for like 2 weeks. Then your data's super skewy. That's just weird. There's also rolling sales. You could look at it that way. For like 60 days after launch, we analyze every polish. But that's also very fucking complicated because what if it goes out of stock? So no matter the method, there will be limitations. So I value standardization, sticking to one, and then looking at the others just to give me some context if I think there's something that you should know. Ulta's not included in any of this. That's just a totally different retail project. This is customers on our store who come to www.holotaco.com. What are they getting? What are they picking up? So let's kick it off. This is where I need my music. Are you ready? We're getting into it. The top 10 sellers at Holo Taco of 2025. Let's go. Put your predictions in chat right now. What's gonna be in the top 10? Also, footnote, it excludes glow-in-the-dark taco, like aqua glow-in-the-dark taco. It excludes nail essentials. We're excluding glossy taco, matte taco, base coats. Let's see. Chat saying one coat black. Crush. The whole chat is OCB. OCB. I mean, you've done your homework, I think. Plum Luck. That's an interesting one. David Steele. Okay. Milky White Shimmer. All right. We got a few people citing little David. Okay. Let's see it. Number 10, bestseller, David Steele. Yes, David, you made it. And you made it, here's the context, despite being capped, limited edition, and sold out, right? Like, at a certain point, you couldn't buy these anymore because we were out. And this was individuals. We're not talking the bundle. This is just people who are like, I want David Steele creme in my cart on my nails right now. Stunning. Oh, look. I'm literally drinking from David's cup. Cheers. Cheers to David. David's team. That was such a wonderful collab. And it's so obvious that people really, like, gunned hard for this shade. Stunning. Such a good... A creme, too? Like, the creme is in the top 10. David Steele was my #1 most used polish this year. Wow. I hope you wrote that on the opinion poll survey because I did ask the question, what was your most used polish? Which is another great research question. You got an extra of this? All right. Cheers to David for making it to our top 10. I'm gonna just put on... Okay. Number 9. Nip in the bud. What? Interesting. Now, I want you to remember this, that this cottagecore dusty rosy creme is number 9 for best-selling individual polishes at Holo Taco. Remember this for later, because this is surprising, but also we're gonna see something else in the data later. I'm spoiling it. Is this truly wild? Like, I don't want to bias you. I mean, the results are already in, so I guess I can. This is a strange one to land, but here's my hypothesis, and here's what I think, why this is here. When we analyze data for this, we're doing the full year from January 1st to, the end of the year. So that means if something wasn't limited edition or capped, like if we ran out or there was a big out of stock period, whether limited or not, and it was released earlier in the year, like February, Cottagecore was released in February. See the little note on the bottom right? Then it has more time to be purchased. So it has like a time clock advantage. It's like other polishes got a penalty. Wait, does that make sense? I've been watching Heated Rivalry, but I don't... Does that make sense? It got a ice advantage, but from time, just from being around longer in the year, okay? That makes sense. Perfect. Okay. Heated Rivalry mentioned. Ottawa was mentioned. Okay, my city is literally on the map. Thank you, Heated Rivalry. All right. This is a strange one. We can agree, right? Like, it's not something that at least this chat or, Holo Royalty, for example, would be like, oh my God, give that to me now. And I understand. However, here's another piece of context. Yes, it was released earlier. It has more time to sell. But I don't think that's the only reason. I think the other thing that we as like chaotic, glitter, sparkly, holo, extra lovers take for granted, that I have absolutely seen in the data more often than this, but this is another telling fact. Sorry, let me say what I'm getting to the point. This color actually speaks to normies. Yeah, this shade and formula is selling really well with people who aren't into the extra like holographic bullshit that, most of us in this chat are, right? Now, I don't think the people who are purchasing this shade, like the group who's like, give that to me and only that, I don't think they're here. Or like at least a very small proportion of them are here. And that's just based on like me doing vibe checks in my streams like this. So if you're here, thank you for coming. Maybe we can convince you to buy some holo. But I think that's part of the reason. So as you know, like Holo Taco, we started off releasing like the most craziest holo stuff and glitter, and that was always my goal because that's what I loved. But as we grew and evolved, we realized like people really want some classics, they want essentials, and we do want to cater to people who aren't just like into the extra chaotic formula stuff, right? So releasing something like Cottagecore really spoke to people, and spoiler, it's not just this shade. Cottagecore itself was like one of our best performers. Okay, I'm speaking ahead. But like, why, right? It's a different aesthetic, it's vibes, it's, for some people, work appropriate. I put that in quotes because I think it depends on your work and the decorum they decide for it. But some people would like that and they prefer that, and that's okay. So I'm really happy, like in retrospect, that we did something like Cottagecore because so many people got to enjoy it. It's a bit more mainstream, that's true. Now, that's not our like bread and butter. We don't always just do this, but doing things like this occasionally is important. All right, in defense of nip in the bud. All right, moving on to the best-selling shade. Number 8 is not boring at all. It's Unicorn number 1. Okay, this one though, absolutely stunning. This is a hit. Yeah, we know. We've also seen your survey responses. You want this one to come back. I know, I've heard it. She was limited edition, released in July, along with the 6th anniversary Bon Voyage collection. And she is multifaceted. I've seen people use her as a topper. She builds up. She looks like a purple jelly, but has this tiny orange shifting like micro pigment in it. It really is a unique one. Craziest not higher? Well, that is probably because it was capped. Like, I think, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure most of the Bon Voyage shades were in stock for like a full month, including the individuals. I might be wrong about 1 or 2 of them, like maybe this one wasn't available individually for as long, But they did have a good run. Like, this wasn't gone immediately. So as long as something, like, I know that as long as something wasn't gone, like, immediately, it does have time to, like, really show what it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? Because it does drop off after people decide, like, hype, no hype. That's just, I guess, consumer psychology. Cheers. You got 2 of these? Well, you're in this data. Moving on to number 7. Touch grass, everyone. Later, not right now. Right now, you're sitting inside and watching the stream. But later, maybe touch some grass because another creme in the top 10? What? Bruh. Now, if I'm going to offer my personal opinion, this is my favorite shade from the Cottagecore collection. I love the, like, cool medium green. I do think it works for me personally. If I'm being selfish simply, I'm like, yeah, I actually like that one. And the shade name is pretty fucking funny. Proud of that one. And it's a green, right? Like, so people really like this green. So some greens sell well. Some greens, actually most greens sell terribly, but you know, you've done your homework, you know this. You love touch grass. It's classic and muted enough. It's not too much. It appeals to normies. Literally the best from this collection. Green is moving up. Millennial love. Is this a millennial shade? The shade name is kind of Gen Z, no? Like, is that not a recent? I don't know anymore. I'm 37. We're proud of her. I don't have any cottagecore. Yeah. Maybe some of us are also, like, maturing. Is that possible? Like, we're growing up and we just, like, want something more muted? I don't know. It couldn't be me, but maybe it's you. I don't know. All right. Coming in at number 6, not a creme, Off the Grid. Oh! And this one was released, like, in the second half of the year. So, in theory, it had less time than Touch Grass. Neither were limited edition or capped. But this one had less time than Touch Grass to even sell, because it was released in August in the camping collection. And it's coming up just above the top Touch Grass. So, Off the Grid magnetic polish, which is also kind of shocking to me to even see a magnetic in the top 10 at all, because we've done other research and there is a good chunk of people who just, like, don't want to use magnetic polish. Like, I've observed that a couple times from different surveys, or even on stream we've asked this question. We've asked Holo Taco customers this question, and sometimes people are just like, yeah, I can't be bothered. So we know that there's going to be, like, a slice of a customer base who's just automatically not interested in purchasing it, probably. Unless they're like, you know what, maybe give it a try. So that in mind, I'm super impressed at Off the Grid being the top 6 best-selling individual polish. Again, this does not include people just buying the whole bundle, because a bundle, like, could be for vibes. You don't know which one they're really after, but this is people actually after this magnetic. So that makes me super happy. We got cremes in the top 10, but we also got a funky magnetic. Simply could not be prouder. All right, shall we do the top 5? Top 5 bestsellers at Holo Taco in 2025. Shooting Star Taco. Yes. We knew it. Okay, she deserves it. Okay, she's a star. Also released in the camping collection. She is an icon, and I'm so happy we get to keep her around, assuming they keep making holographic stars. You hear that, supply chain? Do not ever stop making these exact holographic silver stars. Thank you. Yeah, she's a star. She's an icon. She is Shooting Star Taco. Set in a clear base, you can put her over whatever you want. Here, it's pictured over one coat black. And when you blur your eyes, it just, like, it's magical. This is a topper I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but it just didn't necessarily work with the vibes or the collection. You know, royalty really wanted it, but then I was like, no, you don't, because you don't want it limited edition, so I will make you wait. And then we put it in camping. That's what happened. So it could have been released earlier, but I think you'll thank me for this one. Coming in at number 4, Not So Pretty, 'Cause She's Born Ugly. What? How could this be possible? Qu'est-ce que fuck? You knew it? Shut up. It's a really good color. Uh-huh. Yeah, for a cigarette carton to make you not want to smoke them. Another creme? Yeah, but she's in her own category. Okay, Born Ugly, like, you could call her a creme, but she's just like on her own. This was our effectively a trolling shade that we released on April Fools of 2025. Just this polish, and we called it Born Ugly because it was an exact Pantone match to the color of sorry, how do I put this? So in Australia, they did market research to determine the ugliest color in the world. And the government endorsed it because they wanted to put it on their cigarette packaging to deter people from smoking. And they thought, oh, if the packaging was so ugly, no one will want to smoke anymore. And they came to the conclusion that it was this color. So for April Fools, we released this color and we called her Born Ugly. We kind of thought it was like a joke. You know, I'm sure there's some people who love this like dark muted brownie olive green, but I wasn't expecting that many people to pick it up. Like, she was limited edition because like she is ugly and that was the whole point. She was back in the vault last year, so there was some chance for people to pick her up again. But like seeing how much she sold, it's kind of wild. Bring her back? Would that be a joke? Could we bring her back as a joke the second time? Maybe for April Fools again, we bring her back. She's so ugly, she gets round 2. She looks good matte. She does look good matte. It's very like 90s grunge. Skewed because it wasn't in a collection? Bingo. Okay, yes. There's another great context reason. This was never sold in a collection because it was solo. So of course, the only way to purchase it would be as an individual. So that's probably why it's quite high on here compared to the others, which you could get, you know, usually in a bundle. So context matters, but still, shouts out to Born Ugly for making it to the top 10. Woo! I think she holds her own. We'll see how you guys vote in the opinion poll survey. All right. Moving into top 3 bestseller. We've seen her before. It's Devil's Advocate. Okay, girl. Yes. Yes. This is the 2nd year in a row that Devil's Advocate has made it. She was not released in 2025. Normally, the top 10 bestsellers are things that were released in that year because people just want new shit. Okay? That's just how it is. So when I see something that is like old, as far as customers consider it, I'm like, wow, extremely impressed. That's a fucking winner. So Devil's Advocate, our first ever Crelly formula. Stunning, vampy. She was released in the Dark Academia collection, but I've seen people pull her out for Halloween, for fall, put Fallen Flake Taco on it, do tons of combos, do like a unicorn skin layer thing, or just wear it alone, make it matte. It really is rich, gorgeous, deep, bloody, you know, coagulated. Well, it's not really, but like the color is just like dead blood. She's your fave? Yeah, so this is one that's hitting really well as an individual that people are like, give me that one. And again, this doesn't include Ulta sales. This is just on our store, even though, like, yes, she's been in Ulta as well. Okay. Hold on, we gotta get to... Are we ready for the top 2? What do you think the top 2 are? Okay, you know what one of them is, like, so predictable. But what's the other one? One Coat Black. Well, we know that one. Okay. What else? Milky White Shimmer, Garden Party Taco, Teal with it, Lunar. Magnetic. Wait a minute. Aurora. Sky Lounge. Not Milky White? Okay, these are all good guesses, but maybe this will shock some of you because the number 2 bestseller is Garden Party Taco? Girl. What? Flowers over stars? Huh? I think we just got a bunch of girly girls shopping at www.holotaco.com. You knew it? Sure you did. Now, she's a taco, so that's always good news. Love seeing toppers in the top 10. I think my customers finally are getting along with nature. Yeah. So, in defense of Garden Party Taco, okay, if you're not a flower girl, that's fine, that's fair. You know, maybe you're more of a star girly, whatever. People who bought the whole cottagecore bundle, like, are already getting this polish. This is, again, just people who are like, I would like Garden Party Taco. So that is a lot. A shit ton of Garden Party Tacos solo were picked up and purchased by people. Yeah. And that makes me happy because, like, nip in the bud, for example, I'm like, I know what type of customer profile this is. This is like a little more normcore people, right? But a Garden Party Taco is like maybe some of the same people, but they're like, oh, let me try a topper, and I like flowers, and it's pink. So I'm like, yes, this is the gateway drug. Guys, listen, shh. Garden Party Taco is the gateway drug to Holo, okay? They're gonna get there. Next thing you know, they're gonna pick up one cold black and flaky Holo Taco, and then they're gonna go to magnetics, and then they're gonna get magnetic Holo Taco. Just wait. We're gonna get there. All right, are you ready for... Let's put it on this one. Okay, are we ready for the number 1 best-selling Holo Taco individually sold polish of 2025? One coat black. She is the GOAT. She is the greatest of all time. The blackest of all time. One coat. That's it. We knew. Every year. 5 years straight. She will never lose. She always be winning. Praise be to One Coat Black. This was also, fun fact, the very first polish we ever released. I mean, we released 5 polishes at the same time. One Coat Black, Royalty Blue, Scattered Holo Taco, Linear Holo Taco, and Flaky Holo Taco. But One Coat Black was like our first thing. And that was like almost 7 years ago. 6.5 years ago. And every year she tops the charts. She's just that good. Number 1 stays number 1. Hashtag winning. She is beauty, she is grace. She is one coat on my nail plate. Oh, that was beautiful. She's my first child, yeah. And the other reason why I think she's up here is this is not necessarily the normies, right? Who are bumping up nip in the bud, maybe Garden Party Taco, but this is for everyone else. This is for y'all. Because what do you put your all your chaotic toppers on? What base is one of the best bases if you want to see the intensity of a unicorn skin or a shimmer or a hollow? It's One Coat Black. You put it on One Coat Black. That's right. So she's universal in that sense. And if you're like, why would you wear black nails like that? Why is that the bestseller? It's for people who want to wear toppers and like change up how their nails look and see the most craziest effect. Black as the base polish layer does that. It's also a staple for people who are doing nail art and I guess people who just like black, you know? Some people just want black nails. I've seen anecdotally more men, thank you male species, okay, picking up One Coat Black because they're like, I kind of just want black nails. So we welcome that, love that. That's what I've noticed anecdotally. I think she's versatile. You also use it for swatching toppers? Yeah, that might be a little niche, but same. I swatch all my toppers on One Coat Black. Okay, let's see. So, in summary, here's your top 10 nail polishes sold at Holo Taco in 2025 by individual sales only, excludes sales in bundles. This is just what are customers reaching for and saying, I want this one. One Coat Black on top, always. And I put little stars to indicate that both One Coat Black and Devil's Advocate were not new releases in 2025. So to me, that's important context to be like, okay, these are fucking gems. Beautiful. I also added some stars just to note which ones were limited edition and or had a cap. So meaning it reached a point where no more could be sold. So that could mean two things. It could mean they could have been higher, hypothetically, if they were available all year, who knows? But it also means they could have been lower if they were never marketed as limited edition. So it kind of goes both ways. So I think the context is important, but it also like doesn't really mean it's gonna go one way or the other. We just don't know. So top 10, One Coat Black, Garden Party Taco, Devil's Advocate, Born Ugly, Shooting Star Taco, Off the Grid, Touch Grass, Unicorn #1, Nip in the Bud, and David Steele. I like the colors. It's very well-rounded. Good job, guys. I will say that getting a spot in the top 10 is getting harder, right? If you're a nail polish, if you are an individual color sold at Holo Taco, it's hard out there because there's every year, like we, make more nail polish. And so in 2025, there was approximately 240 shades that were in circulation at some point, which means that these top 10 are really like the top 4% of what could have hypothetically landed in here. So it's getting tighter, it's getting harder to land in the top 10, yeah. So huge success to these ones. Just another note, they're usually in the top 10, we do see a bias towards releases that happened that year because people do want newness, with the exception of like, those two that just kind of stood out, snuck in, but remain there. And a bias towards shades that were released earlier in the year, they had more time to sell. We've noted all these things. It's a very cool toned palette. It is, like even the pink is like cool. Nip in the Bud, yeah, good point. Well, Cottagecore was just a cool toned palette though, so there is that. All right, let's compare to last year using the exact same methodology. What do we see, okay? Obviously it's 2024 releases, which were top in 2024, majority, and then 2025, same thing. Like it just kind of changes to what was released that year with a couple exceptions. One Coat Black at the top every year. She's been in the top 10 5 years in a row, not just the last 2 years. And Devil's Advocate is now in her second year being in the top 10, but she was only released last year. So did we do it? Do we finally love nature? More green, very similar color palette. It's cool, yeah. I would say it's cool, and then you've got the black and red, just a little bit. You've got cool and then a hint of vamp. Just giving you a minute to dissect the information. Now, I do like to ask the question, and I know people are gonna wonder, what if we include polishes sold in bundles and collection sets, right? Because this methodology is really just like, what are people isolating and saying, I want this? Now, I don't do this every year because sometimes it's like too skewy, and I'm just like, that's not really telling the story because it was so impacted by XYZ limited edition sold out or whatever. But this year, I thought it actually made sense to discuss. So I recreated the same chart, but included polishes sold in bundles and collection sets. And the reason why I think this year looks a bit different than previous ones where I couldn't really do this is because 2025 was the first year where we did way less collection boxes. And in previous years, we had a disproportionate amount of collection boxes, and that did really influence like limited edition drivey type sales. Whereas when we have less, like, yes, we have super cartons, but it's not quite the same impact. So it's a bit more of a fair analysis because there's just less of the collection box driving all the data points. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So it's a little like, it calmed down a bit. So I'm like, okay, I can read this. It makes more sense to do. So if we include polishes sold in bundles and collection sets and the individuals, what are the top 10? Similar, but what are we also seeing? We're seeing Magnetic Taco come on in, okay? From 6th anniversary Bon Voyage. We're seeing Wild Child show up just under Nip in the Bud. And we're seeing 2 shades from the Off the Deep End collection, Don't Be Jelly and Made Me Ink. Super happy to see that kind of formula show up in a version of a top 10. And then we also have Time After Time. I think what this is also saying is that cottagecore sold extremely well, whether as individuals or as a bundle. And yes, it was available for most of the year of analysis, but, you know, it's still, the point still stands. That was a good one for different groups of people. Cottagecore took off, but she continues to sell well. Like, I also, over like Black Friday period, looked at what was selling, and it was a lot of that too. So it's not just a people only bought it in February thing. Wonko Black finally not #1. Yeah. Well, that's when you're counting all the new, like, you're counting all the sales of the Bon Voyage collection set and everyone picking up Unicorn #1 or Magnetic Taco individually. Like, yeah, that netted more than Wonko Black individually and in the small amount of bundles it's in. It's not in any significant bundles where those numbers are like as huge as, you know, people buying the suitcase collection. But it's still there. Like, it's still crazy that it's even there. See, why are people surprised that Wonko Black isn't the top? It makes sense that when you include bundles, and this counts like all the hype around the Bon Voyage limited edition set, like that's an insane amount of people buying that, plus the individuals. It would be triple insane if there was more people than that buying Wonko Black in 1 year. So it's not crazy. It actually makes so much sense. I'm kind of surprised she's even in this version of a top 10 at all. Yes. I see some of you feel me. You're like, yes, that you get it. All right, so because data still always going to have its limitations, and this is a little bit biased towards what was released at the top of the year and or the anniversary collection, which was our big collection box of the year. You'll also notice that Advent Calendar isn't on here because no nail polishes in that collection were sold individually, so they just can't even compete with these numbers, which were sold individually and in a bundle. So that's why they're not on this. Those shades will come up in opinion poll research. So just noting that. But if I were to do a simply methodology check, like if I take this method, previous methods, rolling sales data, feedback, and just other types of factors into context, what would I say is like, okay, here's my take on the top 10. And it's not a chart, but it's just a vibe. It's gonna look like this, okay? Top 10, Holo Taco 2025 methodology check, Simply's version. And I will tell you why. Okay, Wonko Black, she's always there. Just Vamping. We know Devil's Advocate. But after Just Vamping was released, she actually netted more sales than Devil's Advocate in the same period. I know because she's new, but she was one of the like hits from the Halloween collection and continued to really pull throughout the holiday season. So I think she's kind of in my version of like, I'm taking other things into context to like show what we're missing from the like, well, actually data is this. Like sometimes it misses things, and just vamping I think is kind of sorely missed. And she does deserve acknowledgement because she is doing super well, like her sister, Devil's Advocate. So that's great to see. Magnetic Taco, Garden Party Taco, and Shooting Star Taco, they're all top for me. And I think Garden Party Taco and Shooting Star Taco will continue to be really strong sellers based on what I'm seeing from 2025 and based on like kind of what we saw over the holidays where they weren't new anymore, but they're doing really well. So to me, that says people are really loving different shapes and different like vibes of toppers. So it's not just about doing like different unicorn skin colors or, you know, what we kind of did, a lot of different shimmer colors, but can we do different shapes? That's kind of fun. So great data point to know as we develop stuff in the future. Magnetic Taco was limited edition. But now we have Holo Magnetic Taco, which was just released on Black Friday, so she hasn't had her time yet. And then we got cremes. We got Touch Grass, David's Teal, Born Ugly. Even though they're cremes, they compete so hard to be in a top 10 in my version. Like they all deserve it for a different reason. Touch Grass was a standout from Cottagecore. David's Teal standout from David's Tea Collection. Born Ugly standout on her own. Unicorn number 1, absolute standout as well. And Don't Be Jelly, top selling of the Off the Deep End collection and continues to perform really well. Along with Made Me Ink and Wait a Minute, like all of them are doing really well. That bundles also, people are loving it. I think that's just like a fun formula for people. What do we notice about the greens? The cremes, they're all kind of green. All right. Give me 1 second while I just cue something up. You guys can discuss in the chat what you think. Justice for greens. You love greens? Many limited edition? Yeah, a couple. All right, well, if there's 10 nail polishes on the top, there's gotta be 10 on the bottom. Oh no! It's time to unpack the bottom 10 sellers at Holo Taco in 2025. But don't be sad, okay? Something has to be in the bottom. That is how statistics work. Literally, do not cry. If there's some on top, there's some on the bottom. Unless we just want to ignore all the data and pretend everyone is equal. This is not going to happen when it comes to nail polish sales. So don't feel bad. I think the research question is maybe like, is it the same vibes as last year? Are we really doing this again? Have we rescued any shades, you know? That's where my head's at, okay? And yours should be too as an analyst. All right, number 10, Rest in Peach. Oh. Just killed her by putting her in this list. You know what's funny? Pantone. Hello, Pantone. Didn't you say that peach was the color of the year last year? I'm calling the police on Pantone. You know what this tells me? They can be wrong. They can be very, very wrong. You know, I'm disappointed, but not surprised that Pantone lies. Is it the name curse? No, it's a good name. Maybe the name just always knew. You know, she wasn't gonna do well. Okay, yeah. People just weren't picking her up. You know, she's just kind of... Crems aren't always bad, but people were just like, no, Pantone, I'm not listening. And I don't know, are people listening to what they said this year? I don't think so either. Fucking Cloud White something? Okay. All right, moving on to number 9. Unfortunately, I have to tell you yet again for the 5th year in a row, it's Lemon Sucker. She sucks so hard. She's been here before. What do we do? I don't think there's anything we can do. F's in the chat. You guys just think she sucks. And don't even ask. Bundles have never saved her. It's just not enough. Y'all are so sour about things named after lemons. Or just yellow. Like, even though she's a linear holo. What can I do? I've kept her for years. She's so cool, actually. Well, no one wants to be friends with her. We tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Because there's yellow and green in the bottom, always. Guaranteed. Bottom seller number 8, green taffy. Another linear? Like, hello? Hello? Linears are one of my favorite formulas. They're also like one of the most expensive to make. So like y'all are ungrateful for linear and yellow and green and nature. Well, I don't know. We have conflicting results because cottagecore did so well. Green taffy is perfect if you like clovers. You know, this is a very like St. Patrick's Day green, I guess. I'm like an 8th or a 6th Irish. I don't know. I got freckles. Insulting. Okay, well, there was a time when everyone told me to go on vacation, so I did. But now, I think we need to revoke my private villa. Girl, what? Hello? How? This formula is so fascinating and stunning. And I can't believe people don't like it, because it's like within the window realm of like normies and people would like pink. Like, you guys like pink, generally speaking, especially if it's like fun. But this has shimmer and pink reflective glitters. Do you know how fucking annoying it is to do that? The ungratefulness. So when you put the flash on, it like goes pew with pink. Yeah, stunning, perfect vacation shade. Even like just when you're at home, you know, just take a break, stare at your private villa. This cannot be real. I literally went on vacation to the Dominican Republic to shoot this polish in front of a villa for content. And now my ROI is not paying off. What a mistake has been made years later. She's not pink enough? I can't please everyone. Private Villa is so Miss Piggy coated. It is. It's more like a coral. What does Miss Piggy look like again? I can't remember. For April Fools, you should make Born Ugly a cross shawl. Don't give me any ideas. She's beautiful, but I think she's just on her own, on an island, and no one's come to rescue her. So let's take a look at worst seller number 6. Sabrina, hello? Sabrina. Are our customers man-childs? Like, what's going on? Why don't they like the espresso, your holo? Like, hello, espresso martinis. Hello. It's that me espresso. Yeah? Do you drink coffee? I will, this one deserves context, okay? The Holo Barista Bundle was released in 2023. That's 2 years prior to this data capture. And it sold very well at the beginning and kind of sells okay right now in the bundle, the Holo Barista Bundle. Because people wanted neutrals and also maybe some crushed holos, which is wonderful. We love that for them. But individually, like, people just are not really picking up this shade or another. Spoiler alert. We'll get there. Yeah. The music is a lot. Well, so am I. Okay, it's gonna change tracks to another sad song. Ready? This song is called Funeral for a Friend by Mark Torch. It's on my sad royalty-free playlist. Keep the sad music? Oh, I will. I'll bring it back for retirement. We'll do a little swap. Okay. What's next? Number 5. This one I am disappointed in. Like, hello? Jam session? Why? She's so pretty. I even said on a stream once that I was so annoyed that people like didn't notice her, because she, to me, of the rock candy collection, is something that I like continue to put on my toes. Like, such a pretty toe polish. It has that kind of bluish, pinkish, purplish underglow coming through it. It's a crushed holo. It's a little more subdued than Private Villa. It doesn't have reflective glitter, but like it kind of gives me like, oh, I'm kind of on vacation. Also, another sort of pink adjacent color. It's jammy. Unbelievable. Rename it to Toe Jam. Ben, you're not being helpful. When I put it on my toes. Okay. The pink hate has got to stop. You guys make no sense. You know, you're conflicting the data. But let's go back to brown, because the number 4 worst seller is, need I say, mocha? That people just don't like brown, unfortunately. Now, it's really hard to say, you know, to isolate all the variables, because this formula is stunning. Crushed holo barista formula, beautiful coverage, easy to remove with nail polish remover, because our crushed holos are not glitters, so they come off easy. So this is just about the shade. Yeah. Yeah, people saying no to brown year 87. Not always true. I will say I've never seen brownie points in the bottom. Oop, I just spoiled the next ones. It's not brownie points, but people hate dirt. They hate nature. Yeah, I think so. This one is a little bit closer to like a potted plant. I don't know. I don't know anything about plants. Don't ask me. It is kind of Choco Holo Baby Sister Crushed Holo, which was stunning. People always liked that one. I don't know. It's hard to explain. How about we see another brown in the bottom 3 worst seller is Stay Grounded. I'm gonna ground you all for this customer behavior on our store, okay? Why? From the Down to Earth collection in 2023, sold really well in the bundle, I guess, when people were forced to buy her. But like, guys, listen, you know, sometimes we listen to our customers and they said release like warm tone, you know, medium browns or whatever. So we did. No, nobody bought it. In the bundle, it did really well. That was one of our best-selling bundles, I think. like if you ignore limited edition stuff, Down to Earth at its peak was like, people fucking loved that. Just a bunch of crams with fallen flake taco. Very earthy, very warmy, and it did well then. But now that we're kind of far past the down to earth, you know, creative moment, and people are just looking at individuals, this one's just not getting picked up. I actually don't own any of these so far. Sorry, Christine. Yeah, that's why they're the worst sellers, because you didn't buy them. That makes sense. I'm sorry, but it looks like baby poo. I mean, to each their own. Maybe some people like a good 40-pound baby poo, you know? I mean, not the poo's not 40 pounds, the baby is. Never mind this gaming lore. Okay, let's move on to the number 2 worst selling polish is not what you think. This is extremely disappointing to me. I am filing a police report. Number 2, Sonic Unicorn skin? Excuse me. Excusez-moi. Absolument pas. You're lying? No, you're lying. For, like, saying you liked it and then you didn't. Truly, qu'est-ce que fuck? Excuse me? Yeah, I know. So the only thing I can think of is it's old, I guess. It was released in 2021. No one remembers anything from that year. What? Hello? Number 2, it's blue. That could go either way. Number 3, when you put it over light colors, it does the opposite of blue. So it looks yellow. And maybe too many people don't like that because they hate yellow. So even though on the surface this looks like a blue polish, it actually kind of reads yellow when it's over white. And I think people don't like yellow, so they're like, no. It kind of looks like pee in the snow. Yes, okay, we can admit it. Well, just don't put it over fucking white then, genius. Put it over black. Or like any dark color. Anyways, this makes me sad because this is one of our OG formulas that we carry like 6 different colors in. Our unicorn skins, they're fun, they're splashy, they're asymmetrical, they lie flat on the nail, they allow you to create different combos and their special effects that kind of shift, they're funky. Do not get rid of her, please. I will do my best to never get rid of the toppers that I love. But if things like this continue to happen, there will be consequences. All right. Shall we get the number 1 worst selling polish? What do you think it is? What do you think it is? What's our worst seller? Speak it into existence in the chat. I'll know where your hearts lie. When you say ones that it's not. What do we think? Burnt bridges, orange, yellow, chai. What do you pink? Payday. Was retired 3 years ago. Where you been? Yellow, sunshine. It's gonna be a yellow. Well, close enough. The worst selling polish in 2025 at Holo Taco was, in fact, chai. Y'all really said, see y'all later, chai. I'm not buying this shade. Truly a travesty, but also not surprised. Like, a creme, kind of boring. In the neutral category, broadly speaking. And it's just not everyone's shade, which logistically makes sense, right? Like the closer you get to a neutral somewhere on the beige to brown spectrum, the less chances that more people are gonna like it because they feel like it clashes, right? So this actually like is not surprising. Great office neutral, not for this office. Not for your office, apparently. You use her with one coat black and gold flake taco. Not enough, Sabrina. Chai is so my mother coded. Is that supposed to be a compliment or an insult? See what I'm saying? It's good with rainbow snow. That's not really helping, is it? I mean, like that. So is literally everything else. I voted this as the ugliest shade. Oh, just wait till we get there. All right. Let us regroup and dry your tears so we can look at a summary of what are the bottom 10 sellers. Holo Taco, bottom 10 nail polishes sold in 2025 by individual sales. So really this is what are people not picking up off the virtual shelf. It's See Y'all Later Chai, Sonic Unicorn Skin, Stay Grounded, Need I Say Mocha, Jam Session, Espresso Your Hollow, Private Villa, Green Taffy Lemon Sucker, and Rest in Peach. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants you. Context simply coming in. Okay, this chart is going to be biased towards older shades, generally speaking. Most of these shades are, well, 0 of these shades were released in 2025. Very few of them in 2024. And most of them like 2023 or older, right? So like we know that. This is old stuff. It's dusty. It's at the bottom of the shelf, like literally maybe. And people are like, yeah, I don't want that. But not only the age factor, and sorry, I don't mean the actual bottle being old. Relax. We have new batches. I just mean the release of it is old, right? It hasn't been in the newness, speaking about like the aesthetics haven't been represented to you in a while now. It's not what people are talking about. They're usually talking about the newer collections. The other thing that's interesting is the color story. Look at this bottom 10 color story, okay? What are we seeing? Brown, nature, yellow, green, and a couple like corals, like 2 pops of coral. And if you want to count Rest in Peach, kind of in that category. But combined with the browns, like it's not really a happy palette. It's warmer than the top selling palette, which is interesting. Yeah, warm shades more generally are gonna land lower in sales. We're sick of beiges. Well, I don't even give you that many, like ever. Like, how often do I give you beige? Like, it's pretty rare. But when I do, you don't buy it anyways. And another reminder, just like with the top 10, it's very difficult and sad for those that land in the bottom 10 because this is the bottom 4-ish% of the over 240 shades that were in circulation to be purchased at all in 2025. So it's really the bottom of the barrel. Yikes forever. Okay, let's see a summary. How does this compare to previous years? 5 years of worst sellers. What do we think of the color palettes? Okay, we got bottom 10 nail polishes sold in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. You may notice that the first 3 years is very green and limey, but then we retired them because they just like no one was buying them, so don't give me shit. They were always in the bottom. And then we retired them so they couldn't be in the bottom anymore. And then it kind of moved to like still more brown, mostly some yellow, orange warmth. And then now we kicked some of those out. So we've gone back to green. Green taffy has returned. Lemon sucker still there for 5 years. We have some awards coming up for for those guys. But the color story is kind of the same when you consider what we had available to sell. Like if we hadn't retired full charge here for the payday type of thing, then those for sure would have been in the bottom sellers, you know, this year and the previous year. I mean, maybe not because of Brat influence. There's that variable possibility, but we retired her before that happened. So how could we have known? But yeah, this is just kind of reflective of probably, if I had to guess, like what other nail polish companies' data looks like, which they would never show. But if I had to guess, you let me know, Sally, in the comments if you see the same thing. That like lime greens and yellows are always gonna disproportionately land on the bottom. That's just it. Next, maybe it's some like tints of beiges, like somewhere in the neutral category, whether it's brown or beige. Maybe that's not true though for mainstream brands, because that's the type of customer they speak to, is just people who want like their boring neutrals. But the Holo Taco customer is disproportionately chaotic, so that's not going to land on the bottom. It's crazy that people prefer Born Ugly to Green Taffy. Well, Born Ugly was new, so it's not really a fair comparison. Green Taffy has been around for so long that new customers are not buying her. Old customers already have her, so what do we do with her? You know? I just hate linears. The fuck? Noodles, McNoodle2612. Is that your government name? I'm filing a report. You hate linears? Why? Like... Okay, that's an outlier data point. I don't think that's what's happening here. I don't think it's people who hate linears. I think this is color based. You hate crushed hollow? Okay, we need to ban people straight to jail. Y'all want a timeout? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave you on this slide. You guys can cry it out. I'm gonna go quick pee out the tea, and then we have some awards to announce. But I'll let you dissect this. I know some of you are probably extracting this data as we speak. Should I leave the funeral music on? Okay, I will. I will be right back. How was group therapy while I was gone? You guys holding hands in the chat? We couldn't come to an agreement about what? What are the bottom 10 sellers? I fear that decision has been made for you. Holo slander is happening? Okay. No slandering Linear or Crush. Like, y'all are crazy. The fuck? Do not deter. What if there's like a new customer watching this and being... They might think we're a little weird, actually. I'm sorry if we scare you. But like, don't say Linears suck, because like, you're literally crazy. You're gonna make a potential new customer not want to buy a Linear, and that's the insane mistake, because like, that's one of the best formulas they could try and then fall in love. So think of that when you put your opinions on the internet. Think of the joy you might be robbing from someone. I will buy so many Linears. I fear they are the most expensive, so I get it if you don't, but they're fucking amazing. I know. They're both... Linears are beautiful and easy to use. I know. No new customers watching this. Too much chaos. Honestly, here. Put a... Wait. If you've never bought from Holo Taco and you're thinking about it, and you are a prospective customer, put a 1 in the chat if you're here. If you're not, do this. Like, write 80 million numbers. If you're the opposite, you're like, that's the opposite of me, okay? If you're a new prospective customer, put a 1. It's okay. We'll be nice. There's some 1s. See, there's new people here. See, you guys gotta be careful. You gotta be nice. We've also got some devils. Infinities, 80 millions, 88876. Liars. Don't call our new customers liars. God, what did I just say? Be nice. We will bring them in. We will make them one of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. Yes. Okay. Okay, good. All right, now that we're on the same page. It's time to announce the Bottom Sellers Awards. Okay? Even though some shades gotta lose. Some colors are just not purchased. They are the unloved. We're gonna give them an award. Because we're a good coach, or whatever. A for Effort Awards. You're so unserious. Lava lamp. You're a fucking lava lamp. Duh. Well, that'd be a good collection, lava lamp collection. Stop giving me ideas. I'm busy. Okay. All right, what do we got first? Returning worst selling champs saved from the bottom 10, but back again goes to Sonic Unicorn Skin and Green Taffy. At one point, they escaped being in the bottom 10, but now they're back. Round of applause for them coming back, unfortunately. Okay. What else? What else? What other awards we got? Okay, 2-year bottom 10 streakers. They just can't stop being on the bottom. What? See y'all later, Chai. Stay grounded and espresso your holo. What are you gonna do when you're just a brown or beige nail polish and you live in a shoe? They're just streaking too hard. Like, literally, they're naked. Maybe that's what it is. They're like, 2 years in a row, we're naked. Put your clothes back on. Get out of the bottom 10. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but... Okay, and 5-time bottom 10 sellers champion goes to none other than Lemon Sucker. She sucks so hard. She's been in the bottom 10 every year possible. Big congrats. F's in the chat. Congrats. It's wild out here for Lemon Sucker. Why does anyone pick her to be on their hockey team? I don't know. Happy for you, Lemon. Lemon. Good job. Good job, Lemon. Ugh. All right. Well. What time is it? It's that time where an old lady simply drinks a pina colada. Ben, where's my pina colada? Before we go anywhere, who can name what this is from? This old lady simply, like, thing. That is actually me. Yes, I'm wearing a wig. Bonus points to who can name where that is actually from. Oh, look, stream has ended. You're so funny. Maple candy? No. OG video. 1,000 coats. Polish Mountain. Simply selling Holo on the streets. No, I did that, but not dressed as an old lady. Drunk history. What? Grandma Simply? The foothills of Polish Mountain. Russian nail artist kidnapping sketch. Close, but no. Holo crack. Also no. How to cheat at watermelon? No. Okay, so it's from a video I never published because when I was gonna do 1,000 layers of nail polish, which I did do and just didn't edit into a real Simply video in Ottawa, Canada. Yes, thank you. Yes, procrastination. I filmed a skit in the middle of winter to put at the end of the video that I never finished. And it was supposed to be me as an old lady. Like, and I was going like this with the nail polish to like a little girl who was, I think, the daughter of a coworker. I needed to borrow a child. And I was like, I had to get to the Polish Mountain. The idea was me being old and like telling children about what it was like back in the day as simply getting to Polish Mountain. But I just never published that video, and instead I told you about this that I filmed, and I showed you some of the footage, but it was not a real video. I think I showed it on stream. So anyways, people clipped this, turned it into an emote. But that's me when I'm 87 years old, okay? Schooling you about Holo. Add a Holo Taco, okay? Insert whatever I'm saying. Okay, anyways, just making sure you did your homework. I remember this is your coworker's child. Yes, see, very deep cut. I wonder where that child is now. They're probably not a child anymore. Because this was like 2016. Crazy. Okay, do you guys want to hear about retirement, or we could just talk about old lady Simply? Okay. Okay, we gotta retire some shit, okay? If I had sleeves, I would roll them up, but it's hot in here. The computer's spicy. Why does Holo Taco retire things? Okay, there's multiple things that we take into account. What you see is the bottom 10 individual sales. You see a narrow methodology for what's not selling, what I've chosen to share with you, which is a slim splice of so much data. What you don't necessarily see is even more data, bundle performance, although I did share some of that with you today. Different methodologies, ways of looking at things, more granular data. We break down by period of year, for example, what's in the bottom 20. Like you just saw the bottom 10. Bottom 20 also, they also suck, okay? When we had over 240 nail polishes in circulation, being in the bottom 20 is still pretty bad. But you didn't see those, so just know that. You also don't see our supply chain challenges. I feel like that's like the word of 2025, unfortunately, is supply chain challenges. I bet so many of you never even heard the word supply chain until this past year, unfortunately. It's not a good thing that everyone knows what it is, but it's also like kind of helpful that people sort of know what I mean now when I say supply chain challenges. For example, pigment is inconsistent from a manufacturer or vendor. So we're like, well, we can't do that anymore. And they're like, well, we're not making it anymore. And then we're like, okay, I guess we can't make this nail polish anymore. There's also availability, general, you know, like some people just stop making stuff, or increase cost to us, which doesn't always easily translate to, oh, let's just add 80 cents to this single nail polish. Like that's not how we do things, right? Like we absorb things in the background and then do very cautiously, carefully impose price increases as spread apart as possible. So you don't see the dumb little this happening in the background. Increased cost tariffs. That was 2025, y'all. So more than ever, that point matters for this year. I thought it always mattered, but no, it really mattered in 2025. That is deserving of the saddest of all music. Customer reviews and feedback, some of which you can see on the website, but we also just, you know, do customer service reviews, have anecdotal like vibes on like what people are just not into or things that are just kind of old. You don't know necessarily about what we're coming out with next. That might push something more towards like we can retire that because we know we're gonna do this later and people can maybe appreciate that later. They'll be mad at us now, but we believe that they will be okay enough later. So you gotta have confidence en soi, okay? Have a little faith in Simply. There's also just general branding vibes decisions. Gotta keep things fresh, keep things exciting, and generally having a catalog balance. So when we end up with too many lime greens that no one's buying, maybe they gotta go, you know? That's just how it works. And sometimes, just like in life, it's been a good run. You just gotta let it go. You know? Like, maybe you said that recently to a partner of yours. You're just like, it's been a good run. I don't need you anymore. Different people have different things going on in their life, okay? So, this is the slide. Hold on, I need to give you 17 more context points. I swear I'm not just holding out. I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstood. Wait, what was the thing I said once? Like the opposite way. I was like, my biggest fear is being understood, when really I meant to say like misunderstood. But anyways, okay, here we are. So Holo Taco is retiring some shades in 2026. We're announcing it now. And we will not be restocking them when they sell out. They have small-ish varying quantities. Some of them have more than others. It really just depends on like what we had. They're all at different inventory quantities. Before I put them up, I need to tell you something. If you don't like this nail polish or this color and you think it's ugly, do not buy. We have so many shades coming in 2026, so I'm very excited about new stuff. And clearing out space for them. So, okay, here, you want it? All right, okay. Retiring in 2026 is... Lemon Sucker, Pink Fizz, Sparkling Water. What do you pink? Scientific? Crystal Skies, Swan Song, Sunshine Crush. See y'all later, Jai. Stay grounded. Cheap champagne. Starry-eyed. And Twice in a Blue Moon. We're making room, fam. Wipe your tears. It's gonna be okay. Okay, you're all asking me why. How could you do this? You're violating me. How dare you? All right, okay, you want my explanation? Should I change to sad music? As long as you agree to stop crying, then we could talk about it. Are we done? I'll change the vibes up a little bit. Okay. I don't want people to actually cry. You know I'm joking. Just, this is a temporary disclaimer for people who think I'm actually encouraging people to cry over nail polish. Do not cry over nail polish. Do not cry over spilled nail polish. It is just nail polish. That may mean a lot and is fun. I can relate, but we gotta make room, fam. And also, some of these are fucking ugly. According to sales data and forthcoming opinion poll research, which is coming up next, so don't go anywhere. So I'm a little bit early for Holo Taco's announcement. Guess we got through that quicker than usual. Interesting. But this is what Holo Taco will be announcing shortly, that we are retiring. And when they sell out, that's gonna be it. Now, truth be told, all of these have been around for like a while, like long enough that everyone had a chance to get them, with the exception of one. I know we will talk about why. But the goal is these are what's being phased out, so maybe they'll stay in stock for a little bit, maybe they won't. It really depends on how much inventory we have and how hard people are like, actually, no, I do want that, or I want to back up. Like, if you like it, don't get it if you don't like it, okay? If you think Stay Grounded is ugly, then don't buy it. So we are retiring 13. Yes, if you're counting, that's 13 nail polishes. We're announcing now, which is actually less than last year, but last year we announced more at the top of the year, and what we're gonna do just to help the logistics of it all is probably do another round of retirements later. So this is what we're prepared to announce for you today. Okay, let's talk about it. What do you want me to explain? Okay, we'll start off on the left. Linears, Lemon Sucker, Pink Fizz, Sparkling Water. Lemon Sucker doesn't need an explanation. Girl, hello. Bottom 5 seller 5 years in a row. I saved her every year because I was like, no, we need the rainbow. But then the rainbow got picked off anyways, and still. So yeah, no explanation needed. Pink Fizz, like, it's not that she's not pretty, but when Toe Beans was voted back by Holo Royalty, it was really clear then that like people preferred that slight nuance difference. It was a bit paler of it's like a baby pink holo, and it had added pink shimmer. So we really saw Pink Fizz drop off when Toe Beans was brought back. So I think like it is a little bit of a redundancy, and people were just like not caring or paying attention to Pink Fizz. And with the loss of Lemon Sucker anyways, or sorry, Lemon Spritzer from last year's pastel holos, it's like, well, we don't really need all of these anyways because we don't have the bundle. So that's what I said. Sparkling Water is like a love spell situation. which does make me sad. So if you recall last year, we just couldn't get Love Spell restocked ever, and it happened like not on time with our retiring announcement, because like that's not how supply chain works. They don't care. But unfortunately, we're just running into a dead end, into a brick wall with the exact blue pigment used in sparkling water. So without like changing the undertone, which we don't want to do because then it's not the same polish, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the road with her to get her as linear and potently hollow and the exact blue. So she unfortunately has to go for that reason. Not because she's not being purchased, but because of the supply chain challenges reason. So that's more sad to me. But there's nothing we can really do. So RIP to those 3 linear hollows. For the chatter who said I hate linear hollows, they're smiling right now. Okay, what do you pink and scientific is kind of like personally offensive. Because that was one of the first... that was our... Well, it was our second unicorn collection, but we were still in the era of like doing cremes and tacos together. So What Do You Pink and Scientific were released in the Unicorn Dreams set with the 3 remaining unicorn skin toppers. So to me, they represent like a specific time, very much in the beginning of like Holo Taco building out, you know, its topper formula, and not just formula, but like our formula for like the steps and how we do things. So that's what it reminds me of. And What Do You Pink was actually named by Ben when we were on a walk. I still remember that. we were walking around like trying to come up with names for the pink. And he just said, "What do you pink?" And I was like, fuck, that's perfect. What do you think? Yeah. So it's a reminder of that era to me. Now, maybe that like nobody cares about that today. They just see the color, and maybe they're not so hot about the bubblegum pink creme, which fair is fair. But yeah. Anyways, it will always exist in my mind, and the shade name will always have that meaning to me. So that and Scientific, it's their time. They've been around. They gotta go. And maybe we're gonna work on some like lighter and brighter cremes. I think after the success of Cottagecore, which was muted and dusty cremes, but you know, at some point we should do like some, you know, something in that range. So I don't think people will be too upset at that. Then we got Crystal Skies, which was like really good for that muted moment in the After Party collection. I think it really suited like that palette, which was very like muted dance floor vibes, like sad after midnight. I don't know, that's how I think about it. It was one of our first polishes, with the exception of like Smoke Show, that had the square hollow glitters that kind of started a trend with like Inside Job and then Pixel Perfect that people love so much. But because it was set in a base that had a bit more tint to it, it was a creamier base instead of like just transparent. I think people were like, I can't really see the glitter as much. So if you wanted a faded, muted glitter look and you love that color, it's perfect for you. But it wasn't really hitting the like sparkling expectations of a chunky glitter, which I understand. So I think she's just gotta go. Also, if you like that color, there's Cold Slate in a creme, and then you can put whatever topper you want on top. So I'm okay with that one. I made peace with Crystal Skies. Swan Song. People who really like white, sheer, like wedding vibes polishes are probably gonna be sad about this one. I was really gunning for Swan Song. She was like a sheerish white shimmer with a pop of blue shimmer that you can really see like if you're in the shade or in different lightings. It's kind of just like reading white on the screen, but I think people just weren't noticing the beauty that I thought was in that product, in that color or that nail polish, and instead like something like Milky White Shimmer, which is just straight up white with no shifting shimmer. That one continues to sell way better. So when people look at like two sheer-ish whites and they get kind of like, I don't know, you know? So we decided that, well, we don't need both of them. So let's let Swan Song go, because Milky White Shimmer clearly, I mean, she wasn't in the top 10, but she was not far from the top 10. That one is just really resonating with people. Maybe they just don't care so much about the pop of blue. Maybe that's more niche, more unique. Swan Song is a fitting name, yeah. I prefer Glazed Over. Swan Song was better than Glazed Over, and there you have it. Different sheer white polishes for different people. I actually really like Glazed Over. I'm mad about that one, but I understand. All right, then we got Sunshine Crush. So she wasn't in the bottom 10, but she was literally like number fucking 11. I think it was like something like that, number 11 or 12. Like basically at the same level as Jam Session, all things considered. That, and we know people just don't pick up this color, generally speaking. We also know that people prefer golds, like warm, rich golds, over a warm, rich yellow. We've seen that with bottle service, for example, which is objectively gold. And the feedback I'll see about Sunshine Crush is people are like, oh, I wish it was just more gold, which you can't do with this type of formula. Instead, you got to go to a metallic formula to get like actual gold looking things, or like Gold Flake Taco, for example. But that's just bottle service. So bottle service is that warm, rich, like 24 karat gold polish that still does pretty well for a warm gold color. And Sunshine Crush is just like not hitting it. So we're gonna let her go. But that's okay, we have bottle service. Okay, see y'all later, try and stay grounded. Like, need I say more? Those were the bottom two, and not their first time. So some neutrals or browns hit with people, like brownie points. Like, some positive talk for in the neutral category. Brownie points and ginger snatched are two other browns and or neutrals that are cremes that we don't see in the bottom 10 or 20. Like, they're not the top 10 either, but they're not at the bottom. So the fact that there's like some browns or neutrals that do pretty well and others that just like consistently don't, I think that tells us something that we needed to hear. That's okay. We'll see y'all later, Chai. But we're not getting rid of all browns. Obviously, this isn't just proportionately brown or neutral colors, just those two cremes, but there are others. And there's also Holo Barista stuff for now. All right, then we got Cheap Champagne, which Frosted Metal lovers are sad. I hear that, I get you. I am also sad at, you know, not everyone loving Frosted Metals, but I think unfortunately we've just kind of had to let them go over time. It was a long time ago that that formula was developed, and people are just not buying a shade like Cheap Champagne. I think another reason is ever since we introduced Rose Flake Taco, which is a topper, not a full coverage, but people see like rose, gold, copper, shiny, and they just think, I'd rather the other one because it's like more pink leaning rather than orangey, champagne-y. So that's what I've seen kind of happening. So we've decided to let Cheap Champagne go. She's also been in the bottom 10 previously. And I think she's still in bottom 20 or 30, one or the other. And the last two, we've got Starry Eyed, which, like, this is a good color. This is a good muted teal, still a good seller at the time from the After Party collection. But with shades like Teal No Lies coming back from Holo Royalty, voting her back, and now we have Shooting Star Taco, which is a topper of stars that you could put over any teal polish, I recognize that maybe people feel starry-eyed is like not really necessary. So in order to just like reduce analysis paralysis or confusion about like what polish is that I see on the website or something, I think it makes the most sense to just cut starry-eyed, because now you have Shooting Star Taco and you have all sorts of different teals. You have Feral Forest, you have Bring Me the Teal, you have Teal No Lies. So You have Venetian views if you want like a crushed hollow underneath. Yeah, so this makes sense. And twice in a blue moon. We're just knocking off the original magnetics, aren't we? So this one is for pigment reasons. Ran into a little struggle trying to replicate it, which has happened before, like with Love Spell, for example. And maybe we're working on other magnetics. Not this exact color. So not gonna satisfy exactly this if this was your favorite shade. But maybe we're working on other stuff. And, you know, part of retiring is to make room for new things. All right. How do we feel? Not that surprised, right? I'm sad, but not mad. Too many blues. I'm sad, but this is expected, very reasonable. I'm ready for new magnetic polish. Oh. You're pissed. I have them all. That's good. Sad about Lemon Sucker. You and only you. The Swan Song hurts me. R.I.P. to blues. No more oranges. I'm excited for what's to come in 2026. Thank you, Kim Tron. Placed a $105 order with What Do You Pink Scientific and Lemon Sucker. Wow, immediately their sales skyrocket. No, I'm just kidding. Sad but not surprised. Okay, a lot of people are like sad but not surprised. So I think that's good. That's your feedback. What about Wicked Potion? Not for now, but probably at some point. We're gonna pick them all off. This is super reasonable. Thank you. Only one I'm surprised about is Cheap Champagne. Which will be the new solo mission? Well, hopefully none of them. So solo mission was an example of one that we retired last January and stayed in stock for like ever. And part of that was the problem of having excess amount of inventory of something you announced as retiring. So we're trying not to do that this year. So the ones we're retiring don't have wild amounts of inventory. We're gonna save others that we will retire later for when they don't have insane amounts of inventory. So we might do another announcement later on in the year. But it just, the ones where we're like, we can't say that today, it'll turn into a solo mission. So that's part of our trying to make this make more sense to you guys and to our operations as well. Solo mission did eventually sell out, yeah, but not at the same rate as, you know, the others that were announced. Are there any comebacks? There have been. We've already announced Teal No Lies and Plum Luck came back, courtesy of Holo Royalty, earlier, or just a couple months ago. And we're currently working on bringbacks that Holo Royalty and our Advent calendar purchasers voted for. That probably won't be until later in 2026. Don't have a date, but we are kind of working on that. So yes, we will be able, hopefully, we'll see what we can do also to bring back some shades. And I'm not referring to like retired shades like this. I'm referring to what was previously limited edition that people are like, no, we need more. Like Advent calendar, for example, which was in none of this data because it couldn't be purchased individually. So Solo Mission and Chameleon Coat just wanted to give last fight. Yeah. No, it's just because we had too many when we announced it. So that was kind of our mistake. But we learn from our mistakes. All right. Let's move on to the next phase of this deck. Your opinions. The Holo Taco Opinion Awards 2025. This is the third year of opinion style survey research. The respondents this year were you guys. I put the call out on my YouTube, on this channel, or sorry, that's what I meant. On Instagram, on Snapchat, wherever I was, I said, answer my survey. This is not necessarily Holo Taco customers, okay? This was just me who went rogue over Christmas break and was like, answer my survey. That's it. So you didn't have to really be, like, I don't actually know if you're a Holo Taco customer. This was just a form survey that I made and was like, answer it. Show me your opinion. The goal of this is to compare opinion poll research results to our sales data and see whether your opinions match customer purchasing trends. Because spoiler alert, does noise line up? Do you stand by what you say or do you talk shit? Is the other secondary research question. I didn't get to do it in time. Well, you don't get to have an opinion then. I expect your opinions to be submitted on time because I have to analyze them. Who are you? I love a good demographics intro. Okay. Who answered their survey? Your average age was 32.1. Guess what? Last year, it was 31.3. You have aged approximately 1 year. Brilliant. I love that. Guys, you're getting older just like me. That's crazy. Okay. The median age is 31. If you would like to know. I also did that. Yeah, we've all aged. We got older. We love finding conclusions that are very meaningful. Okay. The majority of you, when I say you, I'm, again, like, I'm not going to keep repeating this, but this is just the opinion poll research. Didn't have to be a customer. Probably a customer, though. But this is, like, mostly stream people, people who follow my Instagram, like, simply people. 88% of you identify as women, followed by 5% non-binary and 3% men, which is not significantly different from last year. You the same people. Okay. 67% of you are in the US. It says Windows does not like the flag. This is supposed to be a flag. Okay, but it's not USA, US. Last year it was 70%. So it's gone down a bit. And that's because, why is that? Because, I don't know. I would have thought it's the reverse. I guess this isn't customers. This is just like global audience trends, I guess. Followed by Europe or the UK at 17% and Canada at 9%. You guys moved to Canada? Is that what happened? Crazy. 97% of you have personally worn Holo Taco, which is the same as last year. So that does mean that 3% of people who answered the opinion poll survey have never worn Holo Taco, but they just like to look at it. So shout out to the 3%. And 75% of those who answered this opinion poll research survey are in Holo royalty, which is huge and looks different than our customer base as a whole, because we do have a lot of people who aren't in Holo royalty, but they're just like more casual. They just like buy, you know, once every quarter or something and not necessarily in Holo royalty. But this survey is really people, if I were to like too long didn't listen, it's the most engaged audience, the people who are like super Holo Taco fans. Probably disproportionately this chat too, and people commenting in the chat. These are the enthusiasts. So they're the ones who want their opinions heard. And also just love sharing them. Okay. I just went to it. Oh my God. Guess what your top 10 are? When I asked for your opinions on what was the top 10 shades that we released in the year 2025, this is what you had to say. I did this question differently than like all time because I do like this kind of annual summary. Like, what was your favorite that we did this year? So it's not the same as the sales data question, right? So we released 68 nail polishes, in 2025, including 8, which were in the advent calendar and weren't available individually, but were still a shade we made. So these top 10 reflect the top 15% of nail polishes that we came out with in 2025, just to give you an idea of like how important it is to land on this chart. The nail polish had to be in the top 15% of your opinions in terms of like, was it your fave? So what do you think? Who are you happy for? Let's Go Cool Ranch in a Flurry, Wanderlust, hell yeah. Disco Inferno, yeah. Okay, let's walk through it. Surprising. Unicorn number 1, not surprised, also a top seller. Teal with it, not surprised. Was very close to being a top seller, but I know no one's gonna pick a creme in this opinion poll survey. So you're gonna pick the teal that wasn't a creme, which was David T's collab collection with us, the teal with it. Absolutely beautiful, micro metallic flake formula, we love her. In a Flurry, standout shade for sure from the advent calendar. Absolutely love that one. Stunning frosted metal. Hard to capture in a picture. Feeling Sparks. More so than Off the Grid. Even though Off the Grid sold better, Feeling Sparks is one of your top 10s, like higher than that. So that makes me happy because Feeling Sparks is a more warm tone, right? It's got like a warm gold and like a rich kind of reddish base. It's a magnetic, but this really shows like even shades that like maybe don't sell as well as like the purpley blue one, right? They're really favored. I think that makes me happy. And I've seen anecdotally, like correct me if I'm wrong, that people really like Feeling Sparks because it's so unique as a magnetic. It has added orange iridescent flakes, which does more than just like stand out under the magnetic polish. It actually looks like the sparks are like coming through the different areas of where you, whatever you do with the magnetic effect. So it's like not just a magnetic polish, it's also an iridescent unicorn skin invasion inside of the fire. So it's super unique. And that might be why people are like, no, I'm gonna put that one up as a favorite. So it looks like fire. Yeah. It makes them feel sparks. Ooh. It worked. So yeah, honestly, like our camping collection fucking killed it. And them being magnetics too. Those are the only 2 magnetics that we did. Should we do more magnetics? Okay. Lo-Fi Lavender, 100% agree with you there. That was the standout shade for me from the Pixel Perfect collection. I love all of them, and I've strangely been wearing Coin Toss the most, like on my toes. It just being such a pale night white gold kind of sparkler, it was just like kind of neutral when I like didn't necessarily want a color, but I wanted it to work with like gold or silver shoes or something. Coin Toss works for me. I love it. But Lo-Fi Lavender, if I'm just picking based on colors, that one is just stunning. It's super hollow, super blingy, very shiny, very pretty. And sometimes when I'm out with some friends and they have my nail polish, I've noticed like more than a few of them have just picked out Lo-Fi Lavender and just wearing it. So I love that. Then we got Disco Inferno, which is the first shade on this list. I'm shocked. Like, I'm like, you guys are picking you are picking an orange as in your top shade? Like, this is some of you saying Disco Inferno was your top shade. What? Is this just like, are you just Swifties? Just be honest with me. It's really pretty. Yes. Correct. The Life of a Showgirl. Yes. No, it just looks sick. Absolutely not. I do think this might be a little bit of a Taylor Swiftie effect. I don't want to like entirely attribute it to that, because it was a really pretty, like, vibrant tangerine-y frosted metal orange. But I'm still shocked that it was people's favorites, even as like a pop culture, you know, color. It's a good orange. Generally, orange is making a comeback. Is that just because Taylor Swift? Why did no one like orange before? Hello? Or same with green. People only liked lime green when Charlie XCX said so. Like, I think this just speaks to us being too influenced by people about color. Everyone but Pantone can influence us. Okay, then we got Off the Grid. Brilliant, beautiful camping. Call Me Vixen from the Advent Calendar collection. Beautiful cranberry shade, and really happy to see people picking not one but 2 shades from our Advent Calendar collection as just one of the top things we did this year, or last year. Then we got Wanderlust, which is from the Bon Voyage 6th Anniversary collection. And that is a color that is hard to explain and like hard to put in one little chart here because she really transformed. And that was sort of a new formula, like a crystal jelly formula. Boom Toasted was from the camping collection, was a very similar formula. So if you like that kind of like crystallized jelly that's like shifty, Boom Toasted is that, but just in a pale kind of gold formula, which I've also been unironically wearing on my toes. But Wanderlust is like kind of purple sometimes. It's kind of blue. It's kind of pale yellow. She's very shifty and really pretty in the shade. So that's wonderful that was one of your tops. And Cool Ranch, which we just restocked. Yes. Yes. Yes, supply chain. Cool Ranch is seasonal. So after this run, that'll be it for her for the season. But she is already posing a supply chain challenge. Wonderful. Why do we do this to ourselves? I don't know. It's just they're so pretty. Actually, this is your fault because this was from Holo Royalties originally rejected, and then we brought it back because people kept asking for mold. Anyways, so happy to see mold land in the top 10s, aren't you, Discord? Yeah. All right. Of the top, hold on, I'm just looking at my notes. I think as an overall finding, what I take away from this is when people are asked, what was your favorite thing that we did? They're gonna pick specialty formulas. These are all extremely unique, very like Holo Taco-y, if you will, and hard to find in this, whether formula or color palette elsewhere, right? That's what's in your top opinions, like, because you think it's what did we do the best this year. But that's not what the sales data say, because that's not just what people buy. People don't buy in excess just the most exquisite, crazy formulas, right? Like they buy things like nip in the bud. So that's just what happens. That's why it's important for Holo Taco to not only do these kind of wonderful, unique like shades, but also do some more accessible stuff. So a balance of both is what we're moving forward with. When I asked you a follow-up question after you picked your top shade, I said, what did you like about this shade? And you answered, 91% said everything, the color and the formula or finish. Because sometimes I do think this question is like, what if they just like the color or what if they just like the formula? 6% said mainly just the color. And 3% said mainly just the formula or finish. So this was really no. Color and formula, like everything, that's why it's my top. It's not just it's because it's a magnetic or because it's a shimmer or whatever effect, which I did kind of just wanted to weed out a little bit. I also asked you, did you wear your top shade on your own nails? And this is like a credibility check. Like, are you just talking shit to me and like picking from pictures you saw on the internet? Or did you actually wear this nail polish and have, that's why you've come to the conclusion that it's your top? So 50% said yes many times. Half of you were like, yeah, I wore it all the fucking time, so I know what I'm saying. 25% said yes, but just once. I wore it once, but that's enough for me to know it's my top. Which is also fair, because like maybe you have a lot of different nail polish in rotation and you've only had the chance to wear it once. Fair. 6% own their top shade, but haven't had the chance to wear it yet. So what are you doing? I hope you're painting your nails with your top shade right now. And 19%, so just under 1 in 5 of you said, no, I'm just wishful thinking and voting. So there's still 20%-ish of you who picked a top shade, but for whatever reason don't have it. But they're just out here wanting their voices heard, and we appreciate that too. All right, here's the results for the last 3 years. What do you see, chat? What do you see? Top 10 Shades Opinion Awards. What are the trends? Now, first thing you need to recall is this was of shades released in each respective year. So there will be no repetition across the years. So ignore that and just think more broadly about the color palette, because it's impossible for a nail polish to land in multiple years. What do we see? We see teal, we see cool, we see less pink, we see specialty. Purple turned orange. A little bit. There's lo-fi lavender is purple. So there will always be purple. And off the grid is kind of blurply. And Wanderlust has a purple jelly base, kind of. It's hard to, it depends on the lightings. Just picked up Declassified. So glad Cool Ranch was restocked. Thank you. Surprised we like purples, pinks, and blues, right? Like, we know this from other research. When we ask you just what's your favorite color, it's always purple, teal, blue, pink. Like, in that order, probably. This year is special, to be honest. This year is special. And maybe that's just a function of us having two really fucking good magnetics and the Pixel Perfect and Advent. Like, I don't know. I mean, last year we had thermals though, which landed in the top 10 because the special effects don't surprise me. That like the more impressive the thing the nail polish does. Like Cool Cat Mom landed in the top 10 the year it was released. Same with Sophia's shade. Like that makes sense to me. 2025 is on fire. Wait, now that you say that, it's like we were all princess cute, a little bit of teal deep dive, and now we're on fire. Where's that meme where you're just like, the dog is just in the fire and he's like, this is fine. Oh, I'm so thirsty. I've been talking for hours. I'm out of tea though. What do we think? It was a good year for Holo Taco Polish. It was a good year. I mean, I think every year is good. But this, when I look at this top 10, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, so proud of the diversity of shades and the collection it represents too. Like, it's not just like one collection, shade A, B, C, D, E, F, G was in the top 10. Like, there's a little bit of almost everything. We got the Bon Voyage is there, David's Tea collection is there, Advent is there, Camping is there, Holo Royalty is there, Pixel Perfect is there, Declassified's even there. The only thing that's missing is Renaissance, but maybe because that was just like the same formula across in just a bunch of deep crushed holos. Like, that's not like, oh my god, you impressed me so much, but it's like staple, add this to my collection. So I get that's why that's not in the top 10. And look, no Cottage Core. Cottage Core was not in your top 10. But that's also not surprising. Remember I told you to hold that thought about how Cottage Core, Nip in the Bud, Garden Party Taco, Touch Grass were all like amazing sellers. You guys don't really care about them when I ask you for your top 10. There would never dare be a creme in your opinion poll research top 10. Never. I would not believe it. I would think I did it wrong if there was a creme. So let's also ask a different question. I also asked you, in 2025, what was your most used Holo Taco nail polish? And then followed up with the same question, what was your second most used? What was your third most used? So I could take the sum of those three columns, sum it across. So I could take the total of those three columns and sum it across so I could get like a global most used shades, because I know just asking you the first question, what was your most used, people are like, well, I use this one and this one and this one a lot, so I don't know which one. So this way I was able to capture your top 3 most used and then aggregate it to spit out this chart. And I find it interesting because your top 10 of what we released this year is not the same question. It's like, well, what did you use the most this year, right? These are things that like, no, you actually reached for this the most. What do we see? We do see a lot of things that were new this year, right? Disco Inferno's there, Unicorn number 1, Teal with it. Teal No Lies returned, so not necessarily new. But then we have some oldie classics, and here's the One Coat Black that you guys are part of the sales data, because like if you use so much of it, you're probably buying another bottle. So One Coat Black is a great seller among new people, but also y'all who are like, I need a second bottle because I use it so much. And hey, so do I when I have to test every single topper. I think my most used polish is One Coat Black for probably the same reason as many of you. So let's see. Most used shade in 2025 was One Coat Black. Not shocking at all. Classic. You know what you're doing. Then it was Scattered Holo Taco, which is a pleasant surprise because she's quite the, of all of our holographic or special effect toppers, I'd say she's the most like delicate. She's like a little sprinkle. And maybe that's why she's used the most, because you can put her over nail art and she doesn't like obfuscate what's under it. She doesn't hide the gradient maybe you did. She's easy to just add a quick dusting to something. You don't have to think too hard about it, as opposed to picking like a unicorn skin where you have to decide which color. So there's nothing really competing with her other than, I guess, Linear Holo Taco and Flaky Holo Taco, which are just very different vibes. She's like, yeah, a demure Holo Taco, if that exists. I love Scattered. I put Scattered Holo on everything. She's kind of like hot sauce. You know, you put that shit on everything. I think that's the conclusion. And she's been around since the very beginning, just like One Coat Black. So proud of them. Then we've got Teal with it, which came out with David's Tea collection. And that's lovely to see that even though she's limited edition, we haven't sold her since January of last year, that you guys are really loving her. So love to see that. I'm sure David is super pumped to hear that. Shouts out to David. I'm done my tea, but cheers. Cheers, David. Then we got Teal No Lies, which just tells me you guys like teal, right? Because then we also have Emerald City in this chart, which a little bit more green leaning, but you guys are like, give me the teal and greeny specialties. We love it. And I'm so happy that we listened. We really did deliver on more teals or greenies in the last, like, let's say 2 years. So very excited about that. Sea Kelp is another one that like I think people are really excited about. Too early in data because like she was just released, but she was just restocked as well. That's gonna be a good one and another specialty formula that I think people who love teal, deep teal, are really gonna love. We got Everything Taco. Perfect. Like, of course, Everything Taco is in your most used shades. When you can't decide what topper to put on, you put on the Everything Taco. Unicorn number 1, super happy to see that one there. And this is one of the rare, like, very consistent polishes that shows up in our top 10 bestsellers, but also in our most used shades. And in one of your top shades when you're asked to vote what's your top. So top, like the top of the top award, I think goes to Unicorn number 1, at least for shades we released in 2025. Like, do we think that's fair? I think it's also fair because so many of you are voting for her to come back. So I think all of the data say that. Ben, we need more tea. Ben, yeah. You guys call him so I don't have to. Should I call him for old time's sake? Ben! Could I have some tea, please? I have another hour to go. I don't even know if he's home. Who knows if he heard me? Okay. Yeah, unicorn number one. People at all levels, on all charts, she has won, I think. Emerald City, love it. And also, like, maybe Wicked did something with that. I don't know. Disco Inferno. Is that also the Swiftie effect? That people were using it because of, like, Taylor Swift deciding, like, hey, orange is cool? Is that what it is? I don't know. Or because it's a frosted metal. And this audience who's answering this survey is very pro frosted metals. That's why we also got Birthday Brat and Favorite Sister in this chart. So I'm happy to see 3 frosted metals, and they're orange, pink, and red. Like, were you guys doing gradients? Like, absolutely stunning. Okay, chat's saying it's the frosted metal effect. Do a poll? Okay, let's do a poll. Why you like Disco Inferno? No, why you use Disco Inferno? I'm gonna write Swiftie. And you have to pick one. You can't pick. I know it's possible to be both, but frosted metal or I just like orange, question mark. Okay, let's see. Why was Disco Inferno one of your top? Oh, I guess if you don't like it, don't answer the poll. I should have put a not for me option. Oops. Okay. Just don't answer the poll if you don't do it. This is your most used shade. So this is not sales data. I saw someone saying because it was in the collection. No, it doesn't matter. This is just, I asked you what was your most used nail polish. And I summed them across of your first most used, your second most used, and your third most used. That's why these subheaders are very helpful. Come back for frosted metal. I wish. I think In a Flurry is really helping with that. Did I miss the sales data? Yeah, you're like 2 hours late. I did not choose this. That's okay. Just don't answer the poll. Disco Inferno is good for a flashy Halloween pumpkin, but like Halloween is like 1 month. So when I asked you what's your most used shade in 2025 and the people who wrote Disco Inferno, I have a hard time believing that's just because of Halloween. Okay, so of those who use Disco Inferno, why? 65% are just like, no, it's frosted metal. 8% are like Swiftie. And 27% are like, I just like orange. All right, well, thank you guys. I like unpacking the orange people. Then we got Birthday Brat, which was my birthday polish from the Birthstone collection, and Favorite Sister. Kind of cute that we're together there. All right, last 3 years of what was your most used shades. Now, in these charts, it's possible for the shades to come back, right? Like to show on multiple years, unless they didn't exist in the year prior. So for example, Teal No Lies is this year and last year after it was released. So it continues to remain one of your top shades, which is wonderful. Sophia's Spirit Fingers was in the top most used shades 2 years ago and last year, but got kicked out this year. Probably just because people were like playing with new stuff. So that's just what happens. Like Teal With It kind of took over. And then this very colorful thing started to happen, which is interesting. But you're always going to have One Coat Black, Everything Taco. I see Scattered Holo Taco 3 times in a row. So generally, toppers are going to be people's most used shades, no matter whether they're new or old. One Coat Black as well. And then maybe just what are the trending kind of colors for people? And by trending, I don't mean like because glamour.com said so. I just mean what the community is feeling and vibing with, whether it's Devil's Advocate last year or some greens and oranges and teals this year. It's so teal this year. Yeah, there's like 3 in that category. And if Seek Help, like I do think that one, it just didn't have as much time to exist this year. I think that's another one that people are like, yes. You just got the retirement text? I just got a text! Yeah. Wait, so did I. Did you get an email too? A farewell celebration. Yep. So yeah, you can go to holotaco.com now and check it out. Here, we could just do a quick break. I'll just pull that up in case you are coming in late to class. So now you go to the retiring soon page and you can see everything we announced earlier in stream, but these are all the shades that Holo Taco is retiring as of now. Pink Fizz, Sparkling Water, Lemon Sucker, Crystal Skies, What Do You Pink, Scientific, Swan Song, Sunshine Crush, Starry Eyed, See Y'all Later, Chai, Stay Grounded, Twice in a Blue Moon, Cheap Champagne Feature Guest, and then Going Solo is just what we have left from that seasonal batch. But when she sells out, she will not be restocked. She's a stunner too. That was already announced as their last season, so it wasn't technically a new retirement. Hey, Simply, you carried my childhood. I carried you as a child? What? And now that I have adult money, I started my Holo Taco collection. I love everything you do. Aw, thank you, Paige. That's so nice. The text says chatters must gather around stream to hear who has been dumped. Hot new bombshell enters the villa. Well, not yet. We're not ready for her. You're not even ready. But it's coming. I'm working on it still. I had to kick some uglies out to let hot new ones in. I'm so mean. All right. Let's go back to here. Is Bombshell gonna be a polished name? No. But maybe something more like Flirt Alert. When is the next release? Soon. Well, not that soon. We're working on it. All right, so here's your last 3 years of what you used the most. Love that. Next, we asked your opinion on what the top formulas we released in 2025. This question kind of changes every year. I admit that. Those who were with me when we did the survey design together, fun fact, you guys helped me build this year's survey. Yes, we used prior years as a working template because we want time analysis, temporal analysis to be possible. You asked the same question over time. But this one, like, I'm really trying to gear it towards what was a feature formula with at least a handful of shades that existed in that formula that came out in that year. So our micro metallic foil flake formula, we did release quite a lot in. So that's like Stop Buggin', Sky Lounge, Thirst Trap, Teal With It. So quite a few scattered across, and people love that formula, which makes me so happy because I fucking love that formula too. Kind of mad that it's so hard to like do in exactly every color you want. It's not really how it works. It really depends on what color the micro metallic foil flake pigment is available in. So that's kind of why I haven't done like a perfect rainbow collection of that. Well, we don't really do perfect rainbow collections anymore, but it's just, it doesn't really work that way. It's kind of like, what can we get? And if you get like, let's say you get this exact green pigment, but you want it to be yellower, or like you want it to be oranger or something. You can't just like tint the base because then it's just gonna look like mud. So that's not how it works, unfortunately. The slide is gorgeous. I mean, these are kind of your favorite colors, yeah. But this question was not supposed to be about the color. It's supposed to be about the formula. So you got to read words, chat. Your next top formula that we released enough of in 2025 was the Crush Holo formula. For example, Venetian Views and the entire Holo Renaissance collection. So people really love that formula. Just like Holo Barista killer formula. And little other polishes scattered throughout, like Sparkling Spurs was another crushed holo. People do love crushed holos. Crushed holos for life. Yes. They're just so easy to put on, sparkle, and remove. And they're not as in your face as a like holo glitter. Like some people are just like, oh, that's too sparkly for me. But like you still want a little bit. So I do love them. And when you get them in the dark colors, like Holo Renaissance, ugh, they're just so rich. Venetian Views and Vine to Table, my fave. Okay. I can bias now. The poll's over. Next top formula was our holo glitter formula. Finally, yes, thank you. So for example, 8-bit blues or any of the Pixel Perfect shades. I am more broadly grouping holographic glitter formula. You could picture Waterworks. You could picture Bless My Heart. Anything that has like chunks of holo in it, whether or not it has a technical square shape holo. To me, they're all very like blingy and they're glittery. Yes, I think Pixel Perfect was a really strong collection in and of itself, in a good color palette that like the catalog was thirsty for. You guys were thirsty for, yeah. And then we got the iridescent flake jellies, basically off the deep end, plus Seek Help. That was a standout formula for me too, because we'd never really done so much iridescent chunk in a layerable, buildable formula. Unicorn skins are not the same pigment even. They're smaller and a little flatter. What we used in the off the deep end flaky formula was like larger and more chaotic in shape and size, like fish food, like a little more obvious. You love the chunk? I love the chunk too. It may not be for everyone, but like it's just like, ooh, you look like little fishies on your nails, fish tank nails, yeah. Then we got Crellies. Not surprised that like people are gonna pick other special stuff over top of, you know, a Crelly. But people still like our Crellies, which is wonderful. And then a fun shaped topper landed at the bottom. I don't know. I guess I don't think it's that people didn't like it, because clearly Shooting Star Taco and Garden Party Taco were some of our best sellers of the year. But I just think this audience who's answering the Opinion Awards survey is like, yeah, I've heard of toppers before. Give me a micro metallic foil flake full coverage. So I think that's all it is. Not that you dislike them. Just that you're like, I prioritize the hardest thing to do. All right. Okay, we're doing a little bit of back to sales data versus opinion. So you've heard individual nail polishes, what sold the best, individual polishes, what were the top opinions, but what about collections? Official sales data says our #1 best-selling collection as a set was the mini advent calendar. Wow. Yeah, you haven't heard her this entire stream. And I feel like that's not fair, because she was actually our #1 seller, which is absolutely wild and crazy, because yes, I'm aware we sold out of that in 7 hours or something. Yeah. Now, that may also be the case in the sales data, because it was not possible to purchase individuals from that anyways, because by design, an advent calendar, if we cut it up into pieces and sold it separately, then that defeats the entire purpose. So that could have pushed it into #1, but it makes me and the team very happy that, you know, she did super well. People loved her. And also, more importantly, after people received her, we did a post-purchase survey, and vast majority of people were like super happy. They thought it was worth the money. There was like a value question, and people just had so many favorites and so much like positive feedback we've seen about that experience. I'm so happy with how happy everyone was with their purchase, whether they spoiled themselves and looked at the contents or not. Yeah. So she was technically our top seller when it comes to collections, but you could argue maybe that's because it was impossible to purchase individually. That being said, she was still number 2 in our opinion poll research when we asked, what was your top overall collection, vibes, whatever you think, released in the year? Number 2 was Advent Calendar. So up there on both fronts. So I think the team did a great job with that one because that was the most challenging collection ever. So happy to see that it paid off. Will you do another Advent Calendar? It's too soon to ask me this question. No, do not ask me again until I've forgotten. Number 2, according to sales data, our most purchased collection was our 6th anniversary Bon Voyage, which makes sense because that was the only other collection box in 2025, like full box moment. And limited edition special suitcase box, very special to the core Holo Taco customer because it was celebrating our 6th anniversary. So people tend to show up for that. It also had like such a wide range of diversity of formulas. It had unicorn number 1 and magnetic taco that I think was clearly from other sales data really speaking to people. It had Sky Lounge, which was a metallic microfoil flake. It had Precious Cargo, which was a linear bronze, and Wanderlust, which showed up more recently on one of your top 10s and opinions. And then number 3 best-selling collection was actually cottagecore, which is shocking because usually these are just like what was limited edition, to be honest. Like that's just what ends up happening. But cottagecore was not limited edition. Yes, it had all year to sell, but the fact that it's cottagecore and not like literally anything else that is a specialty formula really does go to show there's 2 very different groups of customers here. Okay, we have the people who are like, I am a Holo Taco aficionado, give me your anniversary collection in a suitcase with the lore. And then we have people who are like, cottagecore, that's me. And hey, I love that we can speak to both worlds. Those are the creme lovers, those are the garden girlies, and something we did spoke to them. So super happy about that. When it comes to your opinions though, there is no cottagecore. There is pixel perfect on top, holo glitters, give us the chunk, give us the sparkle in a rainbow. So kind of surprising, right? That pixel perfect didn't really make it to any top 10 sellers, like individuals, not really. Lo-Fi Lavender was a standout shade, so we saw her on one of your opinion charts. But when you were asked just what was your top collection, most of you said pixel perfect. And that has nothing to do with like being limited edition or packaging. That is literally just like, I will interpret this as just because it's a glitter palette of colors and something that speak to a lot of people. So as a set, people really loved it. Not about packaging or anything like that. Yeah. So let's see. What do you guys think? Why is pixel perfect on top of the opinion poll question? It's rainbow. I love the color story. It's the only collection I've purchased all the shades in. Color story because it's glitter. Well, that can be polarizing because we've also seen that like I think 30% of people are like, I just don't like glitter. So this is coming out on top even though it's glitter. Glitter is your favorite color. It's literally pixel perfect, glitter and rainbow. Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think maybe the color palette was so strong that even if like people were like anti-glitter, it's still beat out because it had the color story and maybe the theme a little bit going on for it. It was perfect. The vibrancy, it's such a vibe. The novelty of the square glitters. The square glitters work so well in this exact tone, I think, because it really makes it blingy and you don't even really notice the shape because they're like closer to a medium tone, whereas like if the polish is darker, then it's more obvious. People were asking, where's the love for Off the Deep End? It came in at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Came in at number 5, and we released 11 collections last year. If you don't count Born Ugly, like I'm not counting that as a collection. She was counted in the individual shades. Pixel Perfect has Bonus Life, which is an excellent topper on Mint Mojito. Yes, that is Procrastination's favorite shade. Off the Deep End still got love, like it being number 5 on the opinion collections, and a few of them were popping up in top 10, if not top 20 when you look at it, including the bundles. So yeah, and I do think Sea Kelp is like an early winner. It's just too early for her because she was only released in December. All right. So when I asked you the follow-up question, what do you like about this collection, if we're talking about these three, 75% said everything: color story, formula finish, and packaging if applicable. 16% said just the color story. 9% said mainly just the formula. And less than 1% said just the collection box or packaging. That's not surprising. So next, here, wait, I gotta, hold on, we're gonna cue it up. All right, now, I've asked you what you think is your favorite, what's your most used Holo Taco, but what happens when I ask you, what do you think is the ugliest color that we released in 2025? It's time for you to slander me and my company. Yes, I'll allow. Go on. Give it to me. What's ugly, chat? Nothing? You're lying. Born Ugly, Cool Ranch, So Toxic, Solo Mission. She was not released in 2025. I got outvoted, Boon Toasted, Garden Party Taco. Let's see what y'all have to say to me. Holo Taco Opinion Awards, the top 10 ugliest shades released in 2025 according to your opinions. Everyone's got to have one, but I'll take them. Give it to me. I like to learn. Okay, so y'all think Born Ugly is ugly, huh? Wow. Good job. You don't say, eh? Mm-hmm. That's like me asking you to write me an essay, and then you write me an essay about essay writing. Good job. So at the top of your ugliest reported shades that we released last year, you put Born Ugly on top. Not shocking. A little lazy, don't you think? Yeah. Then we've got Garden Party Taco. Wait a second. Because so many of you put Born Ugly, I was literally like, you are making it hard to see the others. So I adjusted the proportions for you so we could see the others, okay? Like, we get it. You're funny. You picked the one with the word ugly in it. Adjusted proportions. Let's see what else you think is ugly, you smartasses. We've got Garden Party Taco, which, excuse me, is like number 2 bestseller. So there's spot the contradiction. Yeah. How can Garden Party Taco be the number 2 bestseller, but also the second ugliest thing you think we released? What are we doing? What are you doing? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some people like ugly. Is it? That's why? Or are some people just have different opinions than others? Whoa. Ugly is subjective. Holy shit. Guys, 2026 is the year of realizing things, I think. Some people really hate flowers, okay? But other people really want to buy flowers. And that's just like a metaphor for life. Like literally. I don't want flowers. Like in my house. They will die. Okay? But other people really like flowers and like vases and bouquets and shit, and it makes them happy. And that's what's happening with garden party taco. Some people want a garden party tacos on their nails, and then other people say, get that shit the fuck away from me. Why does that look like precious cargo? Why did I write precious cargo? Oops. That's a mistake. That's nip in the bud. Oh, my first error. Oops, she was too tired when she exported this graph. No, it's supposed to say nip in the bud. It's not precious cargo. I don't know why I wrote that. It's probably just pulling from the wrong field. Oh, wait. Why does it say... You're right. Nip in the bud is earlier. Did I just not update the thing? I think I just didn't update the thing. Yeah, I think it is precious cargo, and I just forgot to update the picture. Yeah. Yikes. I think it is precious cargo. Wait, you guys think precious cargo is ugly? Here, I can check right now and just confirm if you give me 5 minutes, because I'll just look at the Google version of it. It's not in my exported data, which is upstairs, but I can at least confirm that on the ugliest question, let's see, if precious cargo is up there, then that was supposed to be it. I just didn't update the picture, probably. So born ugly. It is precious cargo. Yep. Confirmed. I just didn't update the picture in editing. My wonderful editors will put precious cargo over top. So let me guess, because it's brown, I guess, but like you guys are just insane because it is a stunning bronze linear polish that's supposed to look like a sparkling suitcase. Yes, literally so rude. But let's walk through the others where I updated it properly. Garden Party Taco, so toxic. Like, that is so toxic of you, chat. Okay? To say you think something is so ugly. Big Reef Energy, you just couldn't handle it, I think. Huh? Can't handle corals, apparently. Cool Ranch, you think Cool Ranch is ugly? I mean, okay. I get it, because that's why you picked Moonlit Rodeo over Cool Ranch in the first place. Tea. Thank you, Dan. He heard me like 38 minutes later. Maybe he's watching on VOD. Shout out to the VOD watchers. Cheers. All right, Cool Ranch. You know what? It kind of makes sense that you think it's ugly because that's why she wasn't in Disco Cowboy in the first place. I think she's kind of an underdog, grungy polish. I get it, but she's doing pretty well. So she's like a cool ugly, you know? Cool but ugly. Maybe like a lot of us in grade school. Then we got Nip in the Bud, which was one of the best-selling polishes. Crazy. And again, just goes to show that it doesn't matter if you think something is ugly. Someone else out there is gonna like it. Yeah. Some people think nip in the bud is ugly and maybe doesn't suit them, but it suits other people. So this is just like a life lesson. I actually orchestrated my entire brand and this entire slideshow presentation just to teach a life lesson that we shouldn't be mean to other people for what color they like, because someone else out there likes it, okay? There you go. Life is subjective. Okay. Next we got Rosemary Kill. That's to me, that, like, why is that one so offensive? I guess, like, it's boring, but is it ugly? I don't know. It's just like a pale icy pink, sort of. It's just a creme. Simply Deceased is, excuse me, my birthday shade. So now you're calling me ugly? I guess you're saying I was born ugly. And now I'm simply deceased at these results. That's crazy. Wait, why is that polished color ugly? It's like red and fiery. It's kind of like Boom's. It's kind of, yeah. It's like Feeling Sparks. Sorry, I was gonna say Boom Toasted. It's kind of like Feeling Sparks, but thermal. It literally looks like me right now. Right? It kind of looks like my hair and my shirt and my pajamas. I'm simply deceased. Do you guys want to put me to bed? I hate orange. Well, other people like Disco Inferno. People are wrong. People, like, every person is wrong, I think, actually. And then we have Precious Cargo, which, yeah, I didn't update that. Apologies. But I guess that's just because it's brown bronze. And then What a Catch, which is very similar in texture to Big Reef, but is a little more pinky corally. Maybe people just think pink is ugly. I think in conclusion, people think ugly is ugly, duh, and then pink is ugly, right? That's what we're seeing from this audience. So, Too Long Didn't Listen. What's ugly does sometimes, in fact, sell. So, in other words, I shouldn't listen to everyone's opinions. All right, let's check the last 3 years of your top 10 ugliest voted shades of what we released in each respective year. So there is no way a shade can overlap because it just depends on what we released. But let's see. What do you think was the ugliest 3 years in a row? 3 years ago, it was a lot of yellow and brown. That was the year of Cracked Taco Shell, which you also voted into the ugliest awards. But I guess we released a lot of yellows and everyone was like, fuck that shit. No. This year, we didn't really release as many yellows. I guess we learned, right? From sales data and your opinions. So that's probably why you're not really seeing a disproportionate amount of yellow in the data. But yeah, what do we think? I think this is repeating some of the ugly thoughts from last year, like the rosiness, although Precious Cargo is tagged wrong. But you still got the rosiness of Nip in the Bud, Garden Party Taco, sort of Rosemary Kill, What a Catch. That's kind of giving Solo Mission and Ginger Snatch. That's what I didn't update it from. See, you can see my mistake. I think there is a meat bias. Solo Mission looks like bologna. What a Catch is raw meat. Nip in the Bud looks like, I'll say it, a nipple. Yeah. I think that, and also why we see browns or neutrals, same idea, is if people find, and like, it's always going to depend on like who's using it, but if people find something is close enough to their skin tone, they just maybe don't like it. Not always true. Some people want close to their skin tone, but I think in my experience, at least Holo Taco customers actually don't want that. They want not that, right? They want like a contrast usually, or a complement, which doesn't mean the exact same color, to be clear. A complement. So I think that's what's happening. You guys just think you're ugly, so you don't want to match yourselves on average. Which I get. Like, you will not catch me dead wearing Nip in the Bud, just being honest. I mean, I just watched it once, but Yeah, I don't personally want my nails to match my flesh. Like, that's not fun. My flesh is already my flesh. I have so much of it. Why would I choose that for my nails? I want my nails to be blue and black and pink, like bright pink or sparkly. Yeah, but again, that's just me. So when I asked you, but why do you say ugly? This is what you said, okay? 63% said, well, I'm voting mainly just on the color. So that makes sense to me when we're talking about Born Ugly. This was a throwaway. Okay, like you guys are smart ass edition. Obviously Born Ugly you thought was ugly, even though it was one of our top sellers. 24% said, well, everything about it is ugly to me, actually. Okay, not just the color, but also the formula and finish. I kind of feel like those people are the garden party taco people. Maybe. That's just me. It's the people who also hate flowers. 13% said mainly just the formula and finish. It's not about the color. I also asked you, but did you even wear this ugly shade on your own nails? Like, do you have credibility or nah? 78% of you said no. I do not have it and I'm staying far away. Thank you. So how could you even know it's ugly on you? You cannot know. So I will use this data to just invalidate your response. Easy done. Okay, I'm not dumb. I get you can think something's ugly and therefore not want to try it. But I'm just saying, to be fair, you never actually tried it or gave it a chance. Like what I think happened with Born Ugly. I think a lot of people would have skipped this color, but after we talked about it and its lore, I think a lot of people ended up purchasing it and trying it. And then I saw a lot of, you know what, I kind of fucking like it. Like, it's kind of really nice. It's kind of rich and vintage, and people turned around. And I don't think that would have happened if we just casually launched something like the color of Born Ugly in a broader palette without the whole, like, this is the ugliest color in the world, the whole explanation. I truly think that there's a lot of, like, social psychology that goes into it. And because what we did with Born Ugly encouraged people to buy it and actually try it, and then we saw people saying, you know what, I actually like this for me. So that makes me happy to discover that people are like discovering, like, no, I like it though, and because I tried it. Yeah. All right, okay, next fun question. We're getting near the end, but we did a little snapshot. Okay, I asked everyone at the time of answering this survey, what are you wearing right now? I said, look down at your nails. What are you wearing? Snapshot survey data means a limited window, and it's exactly whatever the data is at that time. So between the period of December 27th, 2025 and January 3rd, 2026, when the survey closed, I said, what are you wearing? 68% of you said Holo Taco nail polish, duh. 19% said my nails are naked. Why are so many people naked during the holidays? That's not safe. I don't know. Y'all need help? I'm calling the police. 13% said not applicable or other. Of the 68% wearing Holo Taco, 33% were wearing a single solo Holo Taco shade, so like one color straight up. 30% were wearing a Skittle or an accent mani. So that's like different shades on different nails, or maybe just like one or two nails is different. 27% were wearing a Holo Taco combo, which I am too. I should show you it right now. And 10% were wearing nail art. And before we get to what you were wearing, let's show you my nails. Hee. Forgot to show you earlier, so you're getting it now. Hello? I am wearing the top 5 bestsellers of 2025. Can you name him? One Coat Black, Devil's Advocate, Born Ugly, Garden Party Taco, and Shooting Star Taco. I just did like a Holo Taco combo with these. It's very grungy. It's kind of nostalgic, like 90s, right? With the colors, the 3 colors are really giving me like 90s grunge. Black, dark vampy red, and Born Ugly color. But then you got these toppers. We got flower power and stars, like stars on the ceiling. It's very millennial core. It's very like No Doubt from the 90s. It's grunge nostalgia. It's a little prugly. It's like camo pants. I love the vibe. It is kind of a vibe. So yeah, threw on the top 5. Not sure if you would always pick like, oh, I'm gonna pair these 5 together. But I did want to represent our top 5 together. So that's my snapshot of the day. So if I were answering this question, I would say Holo Taco nail polish, duh. And then I would say Holo Taco combo. Although I guess you could say it's also kind of a Skittle Mani. All right. Now, what colors are you wearing? Of the people who said, I'm wearing a single Holo Taco shade. Actually, no, sorry, that's not how we posed the question. Back up for a second. I said, what is the feature color that you're wearing? If you had to pick one shade to represent what you're wearing, maybe it's your base layer, maybe it's the topper if like that's kind of doing the work, or maybe it's the anchor color of your Skittle Mani or your Holo Taco combo. Like, pick one so I can try and make this chart clean. Okay, ready? This is what you were wearing. After Christmas and over New Year's, so that context matters. This is what you were wearing. Most of you, well, not most of you, a larger proportion of you were wearing Call Me Vixen from the Advent calendar than In a Flurry, which makes sense because those were like newer shades that you were playing with at the time. Favorite Sister, people popping that out for Christmas. Maybe didn't change their nails yet, even though Christmas was over a few days prior. Silent Night, that new navy Crelly in the Advent calendar. Thirst Trap from Halloween was picked back up for the holidays. I align with that because I wore Thirst Trap for a Christmas party with Reflective Taco, and it was perfect. Then we got Waterworks and Cool Ranch, which those were brand new at that time. If you just purchased our declassified 003 collection that came out, then you were playing with those. Everything is Pine, which is an oldie but a goodie, right? Like, that's an old green glitter that people are like, yeah, it's Christmas time, I'm whipping her out. Then we have 2 others from the Advent calendar. Happy to see like so many Advent calendar polishes represented here, but which also makes sense, you know, because you just maybe unboxed it. But Diamond Dasher Taco, that's what I personally wore over New Year's, over black as well, and Pirouette Pink. So super cute. Love this. Not just red and green, but that's probably being influenced by what was new for Declassified and, you know, a couple blues in the Advent calendar. And it was December 27th to January 3rd. So it wasn't exclusively Christmas, because last year, when we asked you the same question, the date range of the snapshot was December 17th to December 22nd. That's just when we happened to have run the survey. And it was absolutely like red and green, -1. Which makes a bit of sense though, because that was just leading up to like 3 days before Christmas. So people had those red and green manis on, disproportionately so. And maybe because this survey was like a little bit after Christmas and going over New Year's, you started to see other shades come in there. Now, I know there's so many other variables, like what was new at that time, the Advent calendar declassified, yada, yada, yada. Not everyone celebrates Christmas, but on average, the manis end up looking like traditional Christmas colors. Fascinating, huh? This makes me want to do the mani snapshot at other times of the year. So I'm going to try and work one in to like a random survey that Holo Royalty will be taking at some point. They've already completed their surveys for like what we need for Holo royalty for their forthcoming collection this year. So we already have that, and they already did the bring back survey recently. So like we don't really have a survey coming up soon, although I wouldn't do it this soon anyways. But I'm gonna try and figure out where we do it, even if we literally just do a survey that's like, what are you wearing right now? Okay, that's it, bye. I think like the many snapshots really fun and interesting, but it also is just gonna skew to whatever the season is. Like, I know this is Christmas, so like, yeah. But even if we ask the same question in May or June, I bet you the color's just gonna be very summery. So I don't know if we're learning too much other than what are our historical shades that people are pulling for different times of the year. Like that's something we might learn to know, like what are people picking over other ones, like Private Villa or not. You could poll me anytime. I love the data. I love homework from streamers. Do other streamers assign homework? You knew from day one when I was like, stay in school, that I would be giving you homework. I'm wearing Just Vamping. Lovely. Poll me now. Well, unfortunately, the YouTube poll doesn't have the robustness and the granularity that I would require to actually tabulate and calculate and make a chart like this for what are you wearing right now. But why don't you just comment in the chat? What are you wearing right now? It's January 10th, 2026. Pick one shade. Don't confuse the data. Just type it in the chat. We're doing chaos data analysis with no order. No order. Go. Blue Freezy. Unicorn number 1. In a Flurry. Cool Ranch. Tax Haven. Diamond Dasher. I'm naked. Existential Crisis. Gift Receipt. Waste of Space. Simply Deceased. Shadow Lake. Gosh Garnet. Venetian Views. Cool Ranch. Birthday Brat. Wonka Black Magnetic Taco. Don't Be Jellies. Sparkling Water. Crystal Mummy. Spyglass. Cool Ranch. Devil's Advocate. Silent Night. Tobeans. Not Holo Taco. Sorry. Pirouette. Pink Light Link. 8-Bit Blues. Pair Don't Bother Me. Espresso. You're Holo. There you go. Quite the variety. But the ones who are naked, though, I have questions. Why are you naked? Hopefully you're about to paint your nails. I would like to give a round of applause to everyone who answered my opinion poll survey. Thank you very much. I love scraping your data. I love I hate cleaning it. Y'all are messy in the open field text. Okay, you gotta stop doing that. Literally just follow instructions. It makes my life easier. Thank you. Thank you to those who followed instructions and just wrote the fucking shade name when I said write one shade name. Thank you. Thank you to our customers for buying what you wanted to buy and making some shades in the top 10, giving us reason to make more and to be influenced by the results as they inform what we do next. Thank you guys for showing love to the retired polishes, for, you know, or to the ugliest voted polishes, because even if some people don't vibe with something, others will. We're gonna miss the ones that we send off in retirement, but I think they all had a good stay with us, some for many years, like that fucking lemon sucker girl. Can't get rid of her. And ultimately, thank you, chat, too, for your chaos, your fun, your memes, your silliness. I haven't even looked in the Discord yet. I don't even know. It's probably on fire. The Simply Discord is probably just... Wait, is there... Wait, there's no deck, right? Is there a bingo? Hold on, let me check. Oh, there is a bingo. Okay, I'm playing bingo! I just pasted it. If you want, we're gonna play bingo. Hee 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 hee. Wait, why is this seaweed brain? Oh, sorry. This is from last time. Thank you, Simply and team. You make it so easy to want to buy from with amazing polishes and a brilliant company who listens to your customers. Thank you, Kelso. That's so sweetie of you. There's no bingo? Okay, never mind. I lied. There's no bingo. There's only question. I have questions. Why is there no bingo? Just kidding. All right. Can you tell us anything about the second round of retirement? There will probably be another round later. It just didn't make sense to announce retirement of polishes where we had a lot of inventory because we think it doesn't make sense when something stays in stock for longer and then people just shit on it forever and think it won't sell, but that's not really why. It's because we had tripled the inventory. So it's just like kind of silly, even though I know that and I can explain that to people. People literally don't listen. So we just wanted to not do that this year. So we'll have another round when it makes sense to retire other shades. That's why there was like less polishes at the top of the year. Have you looked at data from those who bought advent calendar? Yes, but we will continue to analyze that and work with supply chain to see what we can do. How many launches will we have this year? At least the same as last year, I think. Off the top of my head. I actually don't have the number. Why wasn't Wicked Potion retired? Do you want her to be? Why would you ask me why something wasn't retired? What are your top shades? I've kind of been saying it throughout, no? Shooting Star Taco, Waterworks, Magnetic Taco, OG. Wait a minute. Yeah. Like, I'm saying things that weren't necessarily in all the top 10s. Because I was just like, fuck yeah. Sky Lounge. In a Flurry. Okay, that one's also a favorite, though. Thanks for so many great polishes. It's always fun trying new colors and formulas. Happy retirement to all the shades leaving to make room for new. That's the spirit. Don't hurt yourself, Simply. You said during stream your faves. I might hurt myself if I keep overthinking. How many sleeps till next launch? I cannot. Don't remind me. I'm not done. Okay. Last questions from the class. What was Ben's favorite polish? Probably nip in the bud. He'd probably pick something like that. I don't know. A boomer color, obviously. Magnetics, question mark? Yes. Another advent calendar? Literally, do not ask me until I forget about how much mental anguish it took. Clues on the next release. Wait, that's so millennial of me. What did they do? They do like this. Is this a heart? No. Wait, why can't I turn my hand properly? Is this a heart? What's the other one? Is it this? The fuck is this? I don't know. All right. Okay. Thank you to the mods, the cats, the dogs, and love y'all or whatever. I'll see you guys on Wednesday and then every Saturday probably. Thanks so much for joining my data stream and I'll see y'all later. Bye.